Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of I'll Call You Right Back podcast. It's me, your host. My name is Chad Medved. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here. Last week, I messed up. Didn't get an intro in. I'm an idiot. Might have not hit the file whenever I hit upload. Hey, shit happens. But nonetheless, a great episode with Valentine Carpentry. I had a lot of people reach out to me and say that they were like real impressed with their work. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty dope. That's why I talked to him. But I got a lot of stuff coming up. You know, I mean, first off, Turner's just released the new, it's in production. The banana chocolate limited edition flavored milk should be in the bodegas, you know, soon. Real soon. Keep an eye out. 50 years in the game for the premium iced tea. Run down to the local bodega and grab yourself a ice cold Thug Jug as well. But important things to talk about this week. Very important things to talk about, things to promote, things for you to take note of. First off, this is episode 194. Okay, we got 6 more till 200. I mean, it's a big deal. Maybe it ain't to you, but to me, I've been ripping at this for quite a while now. And you know, this is honestly something that I've never been more dedicated to anything in my life than this. But I'm proud of it. And that being said, 200 episodes. I'm throwing a fucking banger. Save the date, March 24th. It's going to be a good time. 6 until ? There's going to be good music, great food, drinks, good people. I'm very excited for it. It's going to be a good networking opportunity. Hoping that I can just get a murderer's row of all the best guests over the years to come to hang out. And maybe if you haven't been on the podcast and you're a listener, and you want to, chop it up with us, come on down. I'm excited about it. I will present details as I feel they should be presented, but just right now, save the date, March 24th. You got about a month and a half to, get your shit in line because it'll be worth it. I'm very excited. Very, very excited. But the main reason, actually, before we get to the main topic, I put a pretty good intro read in last week's intro for my hot sauce. So, I just made some hot sauce. People are aware of it. If you're into the podcast at all, I've made hot sauce before. I sold it before and it sold out in 5 days. No shit. And people are pumped about it. So, I made another run of it. I'm going to leave it at that. If you're interested in hot sauce, get at me and we'll work something out. But enough about me. The reason that everyone is here this week I sit down with a guest who is tied for most appearances on the podcast, but Khama Worthy is a professional mixed martial artist from the city. I've been friends with Khama for a decade now. I used to do a clothing line back in the day, sponsored one of his fights, and we kept in touch ever since. And he's been making moves, he's been killing it, and I've been doing the same. So I want to surround myself with people like that. But me and Khama sit down this week and we talk about all kinds of shit. It was a wild ride, but the last couple episodes, the first one we did was back 4 years ago. He was episode 4. We talk about, how he got into fighting. I think you can only find that episode on YouTube. But the second episode we did, I think, was in the 80s, and it was talking about, his fight career and making it into the UFC, and, his performance in his UFC debut. He was a minus 1,000 underdog, which for, if you're not a betting person, if you don't know what that means he ain't winning. You know what I mean? A minus 1,000. Everyone's betting against him. So obviously what's he do? He knocks him out in the first round, and in pretty good fashion. And then in his second UFC fight, he chokes someone out with a guillotine. And then the next 3 fights he has don't go his way. And unfortunately, the UFC parts ways. They mutually part ways. Well, realistically, the UFC parts ways. He was released. Got to call it as it is. But he is, he's now, opening up another chapter to this fight career, and he's coming back home for his next fight. And I mean, it's this weekend. He's fighting at Monroeville Convention Center with 24/7 Fighting Championship. It's a local MMA promotion. They run all the biggest fights around here. And Khama's fighting Jeremiah Scott. I'll be honest, I don't know shit about his opponent, but obviously Khama's about to mess him up. But the episode was really interesting. You know, we had a really interesting talk, and I knew it was going to be different because, you know, the last conversation we had was just all the positive, dude. You just got in the UFC. You just knocked someone out in the first round being a huge underdog, interviewed by Joe Rogan. And then this one is like, you know, the unfortunate, you know, this is the other end of the sport. You know, it's not all fairy tale. You know, this is real life. And, you know, now Khama's back here preparing to fight for, you know, realistically, he's fighting for it. You know, for someone coming out of the UFC, you know, with 3 losses, any local person is searching for that person as a fight. They want to dethrone the highest of the people that they can. Obviously, they want to make a name for themselves. You know, this dude that Khama's fighting, he wants to beat a ex-UFC fighter. You know what I mean? You can understand the reasoning behind it, but, you know, Khama got to come out here and he got to prove himself this fight. And I'm very excited because, you know, in the conversation, you could hear that he is, you know, it's interesting to hear his outlook on all this, being the fighter, and like, you know, I'm a big fan, so like it's interesting as a fan to hear about it. You know, realistically, you know, our favorite people, you know, people get older. Not everyone could be in a combat sport for, you know, you can't be in there for forever. You know what I mean? Your body is gonna, you know, me and Khama talk about it. He's getting beat up. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, he's not sitting at a desk. He is, you know, we're sitting at a desk, and like, that's one sort of toll that takes on this body. But his job is to go wrestle other human beings that are equal size. So it's, you know, it's a different way to gauge, you know, the wear and tear on your body. But another great episode. You know, I'm pumped for Khama. I'm excited to see what he does this weekend. If you want to get tickets, go to 24/7 Fighting Championship, or you could, I believe, go into Khama's link on his Instagram, the Deathstar _1, and grab tickets there. You know, it's Google. You know how to use the internet. Make it happen. But without further ado, episode 194 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Khama Worthy.
I gotta use the telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast.
We do maybe build some, and everyone's like, oh, you can turn it into an at-home gym. I'm like, yeah, but I own a gym. So the last thing I want to do is turn my at-home house.
Yeah,
into
and
an at-home gym.
bring
like,
your work.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, no, if I want to go to the gym, I'll just go to the gym.
I know, it sounds dreadful almost,
Right,
because
exactly.
it's like, it sucks because, like, you know, obviously, like, you do what you do because, like, you know, you love it. Like, you have to be obsessed with it. But, like, you definitely, like, kind of, is that not bad, right?
That's good.
Some cream soda, right?
Oh, yeah,
Sugar-free?
That's good.
How does that sound? You know, you sound good? Do you need volume or anything?
That's perfect.
Okay. Pull yourself up onto that mic because you can kind of tell, like, if you pull away from it a little bit. Yeah, I appreciate you coming over and doing this today.
Sir.
I'm excited about it. We have a decently long history.
Yes.
You know, you were my 4th podcast of all time, which was March 8th, 2018.
Ooh, long time ago. Good Lord.
It been a long time. And you know, the first time we did this podcast was like, you know, we've definitely been through, I don't know, it's going to be an interesting conversation, but the first time, I don't even think you were fighting. You were just getting the gym.
Right.
And then the second time was coming off of the win from the UFC debut. And
yeah,
then
that's right.
that was right after it because you had that fight in August, and then we interviewed in September.
That's right.
And we talked about, going through that whole, like, all the shit you have to deal with. And then, and now here we are. That was August 2019, and here we are now, January 2020.
Woo!
We've been moving
flies.
through. I know.
Flies.
It's pretty wild. You've been talking, I mean, like, before we recorded, like, we were talking about, like, being an adult, cutting grass and shit, after you work,
Being
you're
domesticated.
Yeah, domesticated.
I tell you, I feel domesticated. I swore I told myself a long time ago I'd never allow myself to be domesticated. Now here I am, like.
What does that mean to you? Cutting? You mean like seeing yourself cutting grass?
like just
doing that shit that's like stereotypical.
And just being like older, like I'm always
Yeah.
like, I'm not really older, but I'm definitely not like I can't do stuff like my younger sister and shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that shit. Like,
How old are you now?
35.
35.
I am old.
I mean, you think do you consider yourself old? 35? Really?
Yeah.
You have combat years. In the previous conversations we've had, you've mentioned them as combat years.
Yeah.
And whenever we talked when you were 32, you were like, I feel like I'm 40. So like now you technically would probably
60.
feel 40. Yeah, 60.
60.
Well, so I mean, for you to, I guess, like, yeah, you're definitely going to feel different than most people because you've been through some shit.
Right.
You get your body beat up for a living. But I don't know, the whole like domestication is cool because at some point in life you got to grow up and you got to like build your own foundation.
Yeah.
And it's like before here, whenever I lived in that apartment, I felt like, it felt somewhat like it. In that time I felt like I had a foundation, but now I feel like we have roots.
Right.
And it's nice to have it. It does suck to sometime go cut the grass and shit after you're like working and everything. I'm sure I can't even imagine your schedule. You own a martial arts gym in the city. I'm sure that's an everyday thing.
Right.
And I mean, like, what else are you doing besides that? You got a whole pack of kids that are running around.
Yeah, freaking football team of kids. I mean, like, you got, and you still have a relationship. I have a fiance, so you still have to make time for that. And like, you're trying to keep the fight team, like, and I have a big family of my own. And then like, I'm just trying to do a lot of different stuff. And it's just busy. But I get bored too. That's the thing. That's my thing. I like to like kind of not overload myself, but give myself a lot of different things to do because I'm also like I get bored easily.
Yeah.
When it comes to like just doing regular things.
Yeah, your personality. I'm sure you seem like to have a lot of energy.
Yeah,
you need to focus
like
ADD
like a mo. Okay.
So
all over.
Just a background to this, like just because it was so long, like almost 4 years ago since we interviewed. Like when did you start? When was your beginning into fighting? Like when was the first time you even went to train?
I was 21.
And you never had any training or anything?
No, like I had done like a little bit of like traditional like kung fu type stuff.
I remember us talking about like martial arts movies and like, replicating that like every kid does. And that was like, one of the initiations to wanting to get into it. But 35, so you've been doing this for 14 years.
Right.
And I mean, you've been through everything. You started out. Now, I would say you went to the UFC late. People in the UFC get there
27.
late. Yeah.
Yeah, 25, really.
Yeah,
like
I mean, like,
26.
and you even have younger people that are like 20.
Right.
And
like now the average age is like 22. That's the sort. Like, okay, so like I know people think that's a good thing, but I don't think that's a good thing. Because
Why not?
You can get scorched. You can this sport can cripple you. Like you ever did you watch the new movie on the about the Williams sisters about their dad King Richard?
No, not yet. The one with Will Smith.
Will Smith is really
I didn't
good.
watch it yet. Is it out?
It's out on so it was on HBO Max. So I think it's still on HBO Max.
I think I have that. I'm gonna have to look at
so
it.
You can check. It's a really phenomenal movie, and I knew a little bit about tennis because my mom played tennis, and my uncles and stuff they played tennis down in Coriopolis, and you go to Swickley Center, they play tennis. I played a little bit of tennis growing up, so I've been following tennis a little bit, but I didn't understand about tennis. Like people get burnt out. because tennis, you usually have to start tennis off really young.
Yeah.
And like you basically go pro when you're like 13, 14, and then like they burn them out. They burn those people out. And some people make it and keep going. Those are the cream of the crop, and everyone else just gets burnt out and just gets left over.
Yeah.
And that's what happens a lot, I think, in MMA too. People don't understand. Like, you know how many it
becomes a life.
Yeah. And then if you're 21 and it becomes your life and you're not living a real life, and then it can burn you. It can burn you out when it consumes everything. Like
you don't. You also don't have a healthy experience of life.
Exactly.
You know, like everything. Like you're getting all this shit of you kind of being forced into being a regimented adult at a young age. Whenever kids are enjoying their partying years and social years,
and then you're 28 and you're burnt out. And the sucky part is fans.
Yeah.
Fans, I tell people all the time, fans are the best and worst thing that happen to combat sports, because we need them.
Yeah.
But they can make you feel like shit.
Yeah.
And when you're like a 22-year-old and like people are like, they're just riding, you're just like, dang. And like, especially when they pump you up, you get pumped up, they'll pump you up, and then when they see you down, they'll push you a little lower. Like, so and when you're 21, 22, you don't really know yourself. I mean, think about how you were when you were 21.
100%.
I was a fucking idiot when I was 21.
I know, I talk about that all the time.
If I would have been in the UFC when I was 21, that would have been a serious problem.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been a problem. So, I mean, it's good and it's bad, because you do have a short shelf life for fighting, but it can also leave a bad taste in your mouth with the sport.
Yeah.
Just as a business wise.
Well, it's wild to think about it, like you were saying before, like being burnt out on anything, because it don't matter if you could be a fucking chess, savant and like burn yourself out. And you see these things, like as soon as you were talking about that, I immediately remembered kids from my high school that were wrestling fiends. That like this kid had a wrestling mat in his basement. Like every weekend was tournaments, like cutting weight. I remember just being in school and he would literally be chewing on paper, wearing rubber suits, like the whole nine. Because he ended up going to states and shit. And he was like a great wrestler. His whole family was, but like the pedigree of that, was ingrained in his lifestyle. And it's, now he'll coach and stuff like that, but it seems like he's enjoying his life more. He was a fucking asshole in high school, but like, I almost look at it now as like, maybe he was groomed to be an asshole, because like, I wouldn't want to be cutting weight while you were fucking 15.
No, it's, I mean, like now a lot of people.
But then on the other hand,
that's the only way you get to the top of what you do.
Exactly.
You're not going to be Tiger Woods unless you have a dad like Tiger Woods' dad.
Yeah, you got to sacrifice.
I mean, like you watch, like I said, I talk about that movie. You watch, like their dad was freaking psycho. He's insane.
Look at Michael Jackson's dad.
Exactly. And then that's what it is. Mayweather's dad. I mean, like that's why they're like that, because they didn't really have a childhood.
Yeah.
Now it fucked you up, because it comes back, and no matter what, in some time, like I was watching, not to jump off the top of that movie, we had a Halle Berry movie, Bruise.
Oh yeah,
and it
wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. It was okay.
It wasn't bad.
But I liked how it dealt with trauma.
Yeah,
like it dealt with like so many points of your life go back to childhood trauma. Now, even though you're great, you have money, you're all this, that's you still haven't dealt with the childhood trauma of maybe your parents not loving you, or they expecting so much from you, and that no matter how much money or success you have, you're still gonna have to deal with that somewhere down the line. So I mean, like I don't, like, even with my kids, like I don't push my kids too hard. My youngest son, he's 10, and he's had 5 boxing matches so far. He had them all last year, and he likes it. But I try to tell him I won't allow him to be lazy, and I just try to explain to him that it's not what you think it is. Like it's not fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, it is fun, but
this isn't like a movie where,
right? Because he used to like watch Rocky. But yeah, it's gonna be like that. I'm like, no, it's not. You get your ass kicked. It's not fun when motherfuckers be knocking you out.
Not everything's a fairy tale.
No, so, but I mean, like, I don't really push it down on any of them. But in the same sense, like, if I was a carpenter and that was my trade, I would teach my kids my trade. Like, if you're a lawyer, you try to pass down your law, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, your
like
wisdom.
You pass down your trade onto your kids.
That's your life. You're supposed to instill that on your offspring.
Exactly.
And like, even if that's not their choice in life, you want to put some of that into them.
And that's just how it's been as human beings.
Now,
so,
let me ask you, it's interesting that you kind of say like you're not too hard on them. It's like, where does that come from? Like, were your parents hard on you to do that? I don't remember you saying
my
that.
mom's a total opposite. My mom was more like, you just do whatever you want to do. Like, my mom was like, you don't have to go to school.
Yeah.
She was like, she just wanted you to be a good human being.
Yeah.
You don't have to make a lot of money. You don't have to do that. So for me, I'm not kind of the same way. Like, I'm not going to force my views down. Cause like the creepiest thing, like me and my sister, we always joke about, like my mom would say stuff about like the past. I'm like, yo, it's just not like that anymore. So even me, I don't connect with my kid, the world that my kids are growing up in. I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Like that new shit, Cap, wherever the fuck that shit is. And they're like, Cap. I'm like, yo, what the hell does that even mean? I'm like, but I can't connect with the world, like the lingo or the slang or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Yeah.
So I definitely don't expect myself to understand the pressure that kids grow up with. So I'm not going to just expect them to just see things the way that I see them.
Yeah, it's such a weird world to, I never really cared about shit in my early 20s. It's like we were all talking about, like,
Right.
you don't give a shit. You don't even think about things in a different way. But like, in my older years, I'm about to be 32 this year, and it's like I find myself thinking about like, going back to the decisions I made as a kid and like how I tried to think about things. And like, it's almost like I never was able to like get past this like first level to make decisions. And like, I was never able to like kind of just like understand things and like, make my own like, I don't know. I felt so like, now I feel so lost back then. I don't even understand how it kind of like
Got to where you're at now.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's hindsight. Like I said, like I always joke around because I tell people teenage boys are the worst. Like I'm dealing with my teenage sons now, like 9 or 10 and 16.
Yeah, you're some
And
motherfucker. I'll choke you out right now.
Dude, the 16-year-old, he just does such dumb shit, and I'll just be sitting there like,
how does that process in your? But I remember when my dad would be like, what goes on in your mind that you think that this was the right decision? And it just doesn't come into your brain until later.
And you're just not releasing the proper chemicals. Because I remember when I was younger, every garbage day, I would forget to take the garbage out.
1,000,000%.
And my mom would wake me up like, the garbage man's here. And I'm like running out in my underwear, like chasing the garbage man. And he's
That's a
looking at me
perfect
like,
example.
dude. So and to me back then, it was completely logical that I would forget the garbage. Why? Because I just forgot it. And I'll just go running out. And now I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, like why can't you remember that? And that's even if I do it now. My wife would be like, just take the trash out. And like and if I forget the recycles, it's the end of the world because they come only every other. You know what I mean? But it's so interesting to like think about your life because you being in like the sport of MMA, it's like you have to have that like regiment, that like putting in the extra work, because if you're not putting in the extra work, someone else is. And it's like I mean the shit that I'm doing for work is a stereotypical office job. It's like your shit is like hard training, you're literally fighting other people, and your body takes a different toll than another end. And recently, like you had shit, the cards kind of fell the other way, and we talked this last episode back in 2019, and it was kind of like riding high. It's like you were Devontae was like a plus 1,000 or minus 1,000, and you knocked him out in the first round, and like that was your UFC debut. That's after years of like local fights. I remember us talking about like you thinking you might not even make it to that point. And it's like you get to that point, and then like you had your second fight in the UFC, choked, was it Luis Pena out with a guillotine? And that was like a year later. And then you had 2 more fights, and you had a knockout the first round. He knocked you out, right?
Yeah,
left hand, malarkey.
Yeah.
And then the next one was Jai, right?
I had before that I lost 3 in a row. I lost to Azatar Ottoman first.
Oh.
It was Azatar, Malarkey, and then Jai
Herbert,
yeah.
And then I read that you got released. So that was that podcast, and we're going to pick up from where this is now, because I know it's going to be more of an interesting conversation, because like I said, we were riding high before, and now you're preparing for another fight with 24/7.
Right.
Brawl in the Berg 10, February 5th against Jeremiah Scott.
Right.
Okay. I want to know where your mindset is as a fighter that's 30 years old, because like we were talking about before, these are combat years. You feel 60.
Right.
You know, it's for someone to be fighting at 35, it's kind of like we were just talking about people who are like 20 in the UFC.
Right.
It's like, where's your mindset at?
I mean, all I can think of, like, it's really funny, but I just get that clip from that Childish Gambino song, "This Is America."
Yeah.
At the end, when he's like, "Get your money." I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm at the point where I've put in enough of hours and stuff at this, so I'm getting towards the end. You can kind of say, getting towards the end of like your stereotypical like fight career, right? So like I'm getting towards the end of that part. So I have to like make the right choices and plan the right stuff out and try to make as much as possible and be smart about what I do. Because luckily right now, this is the you could say it's a gold rush for combat sports right now. Because you can, like last night was some stupid pillow fighting championship.
What?
I don't fucking know people. But this, as the dumber society gets, the easier it is to
Legitimate pillow fighting? People are pillow fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Marcus Brimage was in it, and like a couple other, like another former UFC guy. They're like hitting.
Oh, these were like
really pillow
oh
fighting.
my God, I have to look it up.
It's the dumbest.
It's probably
thing.
brutal a little bit.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not at all. It's so dumb.
Yeah, I bet it is. But just to be tangential, while we're on that though, I mean, like we're in this world. You said it, you know, we're in this world of like crazy flood of combat sports. You know, I'm just curious before I forget about it. It's like, what do you think about people like Jake Paul offers to the world? Because I feel like it could be good and bad, but I feel like it kind of leans more towards good.
I don't like. I wouldn't like hang out with Jake Paul.
I understand.
I wouldn't hang
that.
out with Dana White. Like, you know what I mean?
I understand that.
But
it's necessary evil, I think.
Yeah, I don't like, a lot of people get mad and be like, oh, well, you know, they're making money and taking my money. I'm like, no, they're just making their money.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's like when a good rapper, like I'm pretty sure you know there's I know a lot of good rappers or singers that could sit there and listen to Justin Bieber or listen to 6ix9ine, like, he's fucking trash. Why? Because that's what people like.
100%.
Like you can't get. It's almost like when people were like, the WNBA needs to make as much money as the NBA. I'm like, you can't force people to want to go to games or want to buy tickets and stuff. Like you can't. Like if people want to watch Jake Paul fight some homeless guy or whatever, then people are dumb. Like, and that's the thing. More people care about Jake Paul fighting Tyron Woodley than they do about Bud Dupree fighting. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was sitting there scratching my head.
That's
like,
true.
yo,
that's a really good point.
Are stupid, but that's not.
Well, that's
Jake
part
Paul's
of the game
fault.
that we're living in.
Yeah,
I mean, we're living in that world of social media, and they're just very smart at what they're doing.
Have you seen the Island Boys?
Oh my God!
Thank you. That's my point exactly.
I can't
that's my point exactly.
You know, like I definitely. At first, I was definitely a Jake Paul hater. I was like, you know, fuck these YouTube dudes. Like, I didn't really like his brother. I was never someone that like gravitated towards like vlogs. You know, I didn't give a fuck what people were doing with their lives. But as I see it, you know, I try to step back now, and I'm always like very, very like, you know, I try to just like always step back and see kind of a bigger picture, whether of any decision, you know, politics, anything. And I think that like the shit that Jake Paul does, but I'm obviously a civilian too. Right. So it'll be interesting to hear a real fighter's point of view, but it's like, I feel like he's just creating opportunity, but
he's making money.
It's making money.
I mean, it's like people don't get mad at freaking Marvel for just pumping out these garbage fucking movies. No, but they're just they're making money. I mean, like, right. I mean, like Star Wars, they took the Star Wars franchise and they just flop on that. I mean, they're making money. Why? Because that's what you're supposed to do.
If your mindset, now I'll throw away the idea of like the whole making mindset or the making money mindset. Now, as a martial artist mindset of it all, it's like, do you hate it that you see people like Tyron Woodley, who at one time was like the baddest dude in the world?
No, because as a martial artist, like you can't limit yourself.
Yeah,
you can't put someone in a box. Like that's what martial arts is, the complete opposite of being are being classified and being stuck in a box.
Yeah, you got to be water.
Yeah, you gotta adjust the stuff. So I'm like, yo, Tyron Woodley has kids.
Yeah, get your money.
He needs to make money. He needs to
more money in that fight than all the UFC shit.
Dude, like freaking people are talking about Mayweather, because Mayweather's supposed to box somebody in Abu Dhabi, and it's supposed to do something like it's supposed to be boxing some YouTuber, and people are like, it's gonna destroy his legacy. I'm like, dude, you can't give your
can't
land,
take away what it was.
You can't buy property with the legacy.
Yeah.
You know how many former world champions are dead broke? A lot. I mean,
it's a really good point.
A lot of former world champions are dead broke. Like, bro, selling their belts and shit. Like former NFL players or former NBA players to go broke.
Terrell Pryor and shit like that.
Oh my God, you can't buy shit with your legacy.
Didn't O.J. Simpson sell all of his shit?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And
he went to jail for trying to get it back, I think.
I mean, like only someone like Mike Tyson. Like Mike Tyson built off of his legacy, like, and he was able to get do the right things and do the right things and stuff. But like, he's a very rare type person. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, but there's so many people that get like this that you get used up. So make as much money as you.
I think I follow like all these Reddit subreddits and everything, MMA, and I could kind of see like the ups and downs of the filth of humans on there. It's of people saying,
I stay off.
Well, it's interesting to see it though, because like, both sides, whether ridiculous they are, they bring up good points. And like, I get the idea of like keeping it, like some people don't like that the UFC and everything is like growing to be what it is. Like they think it's like kind of like a mockery online. And then I see people that like are excited to be able to like see these new things. And like, I had a Christmas party, and we ended up finding a stream for the Jake Paul and the Tyron fight. Actually, my buddy was kind of fucked up, and he was like, I'll buy that right now that I say it, because he bought that fight and we just saw the last bit and we were watching it, and like, I don't know. It's like, I'm not mad at people for getting money, because like, this whole shit with like Jake Paul and like trying to like generate more income for fighters and everything like that. I'm all for that, because like you guys are getting fucking knocked out and shit like that. You guys should be getting paid more money. NBA people and everything getting hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. It's like, give yins a little bit more. I mean, like, you know what I mean? It's, and like, I like that he's like generating that. He seems like he's in good spirits in that way, but it's kind of just like gross some of the way he does it.
I think, like, to a certain degree, I think he's doing it for people's pay. Truthfully, he's just doing it so you can just keep looking at it.
Yeah, double dipping. Yeah,
I mean, it's just basically there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah,
there's no such thing.
That's a good point. He's
just going to just keep talking shit, and he made a Dana White diss album or something.
Well, so as an older fighter now, like 35, it's you were talking about like kind of it's chess now. It's not really just taking the opportunities that are given you, but it's just like you want to make the right decisions to make the best bang for your buck.
Right,
but. You're good now, because it's like after you win or after you go on that losing streak, it's like, what's your mindset as far as like, did you know that like you were just going to be done with them?
The UFC?
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get one more fight, but I figured it's because it's the division. You can't lose 3 at welterweight, at lightweight. Like you can't lose 2. They can cut you after losing 2 at lightweight, just because there's just so many.
Do they say anything to you after you lose your fights?
No,
or I didn't think so.
No, I talked with my manager and stuff, and he was like, "We'll see what they do." I mean, like my 3rd fight in the UFC was a co-main event. You know what I mean? So like you hit hard. You fall, you climb hard, you fall hard as well. So it's just part of the game. So you can't overthink it. Like you can't think too much into it.
I think you have to have like I think like ever since I've known you, you had a pretty great mindset on everything, because you didn't get things just like kind of given to you in the beginning when you were young. It's like you put in your time as like a bigger fish in a smaller pond, and like you earned your stripes, so to speak, in like this Pittsburgh arena and like the local areas around it. So it's like you had your mindset kind of already, like you were callous to it,
right?
And it's like then you were like, oh shit, like I guess I'm in here, yeah. And like that's like a cherry on top of like already a great legacy, because I mean, what did you have? You had 16-9. You had 9 knockouts, 3 submissions, 4 decisions. Okay. And those were your wins. And like, that's a pretty great pretty great record for fighting people to the death, basically. It's pretty wild to think about. Now, you getting out of there, and how do you find out you're released?
My manager calls me. So my manager calls me, and it's funny because I'm about to teach the kids class. And my manager calls me, goes, "Yeah," he goes, "I tried to fight it." He goes, "But we can maybe like get a win or something and get back in." And then I start teaching the class. I'm mad as fuck.
Were you pissed at first?
You're mad because you're like, shit. I'm mad mostly because I'm like, fuck. Now I'm gonna have to fight
twice as hard to get back in there.
Yeah, and I'm like, so then I start thinking about what I have to do with it. So, but then I just kind of like just take the, like I said, just take it for what it is in the sense of being grateful for where you're at, because there's a lot of people that never got anywhere near close to that point.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah.
UFC card 241 knocking someone out.
I'm like, I can complain and be like, oh, woe is me, or I can be grateful for the situation that I've been in. And
God.
I know also that I'm far from finished with it. So like, it just took, like, it's like a breakup.
Yeah.
The girl dumps you and shit, and then it takes you a minute to like get over her, and then you go date her half friend.
Yeah. Now I like the idea of I like the idea of it all, because like whenever I saw your first post of you saying that you were fighting in Brawl the Berg, you were like, in so many words, you were like, I'm kind of back to where I was, but it's give me an opportunity to fight to where I want to be again.
Right.
And for you to, what are your nerves like as far as someone that's kind of older in this, like, sport that's getting younger and younger and younger? Because you see all these horror stories about people that kind of overstay their welcome.
Right.
Now, how do you know when you know?
I mean, you don't know. I mean, look, Rashad Evans just came back and fought at age 42 2 days ago. Did
he?
Yeah, he came back and fought an Eagle fighting. I didn't think it was going to be good. He did fantastic, and he won.
I saw Eagle picking up all kinds of people.
Yeah, so Rashad Evans and he hadn't fought in 7 or 6 years or some shit, and came back and won. He was on a 4-fight losing streak or a 3-fight losing, all knockouts, whatever. Came back and won. He did not look that good in his last couple of fights. Man. So I mean, fighting is about momentum. That's a big thing. Like, you have to be able. Unfortunately, for fighting, like in a basketball game, you can like call a timeout and change the momentum. And fighting, like, the momentum, it carries over and it carries and it carries and it carries and it carries. So I mean, it's like when people talk about Tony Ferguson. Like, Tony Ferguson, lost his last 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's all about momentum. It's all about like
the tides change.
Yeah, like, and things just. They start to like move and then go into motion.
Look at fucking Brandon Moreno.
No, exactly. I mean, like, you can get into a rut and then you have to come out of that rut. So for me, I'll listen. Like, I have some people that will straight up tell me his truth and stuff, and then my coaches and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I know I'm not. As for this fight, the pressure is kind of high. Because it's like he doesn't have anything to lose. I'm going back from the UFC. When you go back from the UFC to a regional scene, you're the big fish now.
Yeah,
everyone's
you're the target.
looking at you like, oh, let's get a piece of this sucker, let's get on top of him. Like, that's what I was trying to do when I was trying to get to UFC.
1,000,000%.
I was looking for an ex-UFC guy that I thought I could beat and find him, so I could beat him and show that I can freaking get to the UFC. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what this guy's my thought process is. But I still don't think that people understand the leap of competition that happens when you go to UFC.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't explain it.
Well, I feel like a good way to conceptualize it for like civilians, like, I've been watching it, and like, not just a casual fan, but I've been a pretty heavy fan for like a decade now. So I kind of, I hate even like saying like, I kind of understand how, but it's like, it's, I understand how hard it is for people to get in there because of how many of the small fish there are here. It's like everywhere we are, not just in Pittsburgh, but like every city has one of these like fighting organizations that's like,
or 5.
Of all these people that are like you that want to get to this same way. So, to just be noticed and get to that UFC level, which is the highest level of the sport, it's like, I mean, it's hard for people that don't understand it to conceptualize.
Oh yeah, man. And so, I mean, like, as for this fight, I'm looking forward.
First of all, how did this even happen? Like, how did you even decide to take this, and how did get presented to you?
So I was like, okay, I need to get a fight. And my manager was like, he wanted me to fight in December.
Yeah.
And he was like, let's fight in December and then try to look and see if the UFC, once they get back to running things, because people are dropping out of fights left and right because of COVID. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can get fights, short notice fights. So I took a little bit of time off, and then they offered to have this fight, and I was like, yeah. And then like we got the opponent and stuff, and we just went from there.
Now, did you have any ideas of like approaching different fighting organizations like Bellator or like Eagle?
Like I was going to, but it's best, like, you have more bargaining power when you're coming off a win. You know, what I mean? You don't want to be coming off with 3 losses, even if you're in the UFC. Still 3 losses, 3 finishes too, and it's still, you want to be coming off a win and stuff. So I figured I'd get a win in first and then go from there.
Yeah,
and see how it goes.
Now, for you to, like you said, 3 finishes, how do you keep your mindset to the point where it's like, where you don't doubt yourself?
You always doubt yourself. I mean,
do you have doubts of yourself?
You always doubt yourself. Anyone that said they don't doubt themselves is a liar.
Yeah.
Like, you're fighting another human being that's also been trained.
Well, I mean, it's 1 second. Yeah. 1 second, you just get put to sleep.
One miscalculation and stuff. So like, you doubt yourself. But actually, my last fight was actually a really good. I was having a good fight. Like, I got to the point in the fight where I felt good. I felt like I was starting to do exactly what I wanted to do.
Was it the head kick?
No, the head kick I blocked, but his foot whipped around the back and smacked the back of my fucking head.
That's what it looked like, because I was
so irritated.
I was watching the replays of it all, and I was watching like the Malarkey had you. Was that whatever his name was?
Yeah.
He hit you with the left hand, but then I forgot how the Jai
he hit me with he was so fucking long. Yeah. And like I hit him with a punch, and I didn't realize how much it stunned him until I watched the film. Like, oh fuck, that actually stunned him. I hit a good calf kick he didn't like. And then I stepped to the left, and I didn't recorrect my feet afterwards. And he threw a cross, and it skimmed the back of my head, and it kind of hurt. And then he threw the hick, and it hit the back. And I was still, that was the first time in my career that I've lost a fight that I didn't like get flash knockout or get knocked out. Because as he was hitting me, I'm still thinking I need to get to his back. I need to get to his back. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, I'd rather get TKO because that shit hurt. I felt every bit.
Yeah, you weren't out yet.
No, I was like, I felt every fucking minute of that shit hurt like hell.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you coming off of those, it's like, because you always seem to have like a pretty good, mindset. Ever since I've talked to you, you always seem to have a pretty great place where your mind is. And I think like you were saying before earlier about like your mom, like kind of cultivating that, like, just, that positive attitude, and like you having that like mix of like, the regimented end of martial arts. It's like a good blend of it all, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, like, for me, I just want to make, like I said, I want to be able to properly support my family and stuff.
Pay your bills.
So that's what pisses me off, because if you lose, you only get half your money. So that's what makes me mad. So I'm like, all right, you have to win because because I've sacrificed a lot. I sacrificed a lot of time. I like time away from my family and everything. A whole bunch of shit I sacrificed. My body, I wake up every morning and my shoulders hurt and my knees hurt.
Yeah, people don't understand. You're not just fighting in a 25-minute fight or a 15-minute fight.
It's every day.
Months and months and months.
Exactly. So
years.
I'm like, if I'm sacrificing this much, I better make sure the juice is worth the squeeze, and I have to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do to get the result that I want. I mean, because my last camp, I went out to Vegas. I had a good camp out in Syndicate and stuff. So it's not like I'm not putting in the right effort. It's just some shit can just go good, and some, like last night I was watching Bellator, and Saya Watt, good fighter. I mean, I've watched him fight forever. He goes out in the fight, gets kicked in the head in 37 seconds, knocked out. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh,
like,
wow.
so you do a whole camp, do all this shit, just to get knocked the fuck out in 35 seconds. Like, that's irritating. Like, did you have that in mind? Hell no, you didn't have that in mind. You didn't think you're gonna walk out there, but unfortunately, that's the guaranteed part of fighting, is nothing's guaranteed. When you play a football game, you're going to go all 4 quarters. So you have the exact amount of time where you can still come. But for fighting, you can go out there and like prepare for a 3-round fight and they only get 10 seconds.
That's a really good point.
It's a really weird sport when it comes to that.
Yeah. So you hear, I mean, like, you prepare for this fight, like, that you're going to get this fight. It's like, before you even had this fight, are you pretty just like, you said you took a break a little bit, but are you still like actively like training? Like,
yeah, I mean, like,
obviously you have the gym and like you train and you're a coach there and everything, but it's like, are you training hard for like?
Yeah, because my little brother had a fight coming up, so I was helping him get ready.
Yeah.
And John DeSuze, he had a fight, so I helped him. Then he actually went out to Denver for 3 weeks leading up to his fight. So yeah, I get bored. Like I said, I get bored. Like I can't just do regular stuff. I'm like, nah, I can't just do regular stuff. So because I know eventually it'll get to a point where I can't spar all the time. I can't do it. Like, and I'm really close to that. I'm like really fucking close to that. Like in the next 5 or 6 years, I can't be in there sparring and like
kicked
serious.
In the head,
I can't do
the
that
head.
shit. Serious. And the kicking and punching part, I think I'll be able to do. It's the grappling.
Oh yeah.
You can't. I'm not. I know for sure. I know a lot of people are like, wait, like
yeah.
what?
Why can't you grapple?
Because that shit fucking hurts.
Yeah. I get that, but like, I mean, I know it'll hurt, but you see older people, that have been doing jiu-jitsu their whole lives.
Yeah, but their bodies are fucked.
Yeah, I guess.
You ever look at those old school jiu-jitsu guys' fingers? I'm not letting that shit.
That's a good point.
Their fingers are all fucking carpal tunnel.
I know they're all
up.
taped together.
Dude, wrestlers, ever see old school wrestlers? Their necks, there's vertebrae and
that's
shit.
A good point.
Their knees and shit, they're destroyed.
You hear everyone that's like been jiu-jitsu. If you listen to like Gordon Ryan or any of them people, they're just hurt all the time.
No meniscus, tendons, yeah, like. And so
that's fair. It's a good point.
My thing is, I don't want like from striking. I think as I get older, I won't be able to spar the young guys, but I'll be able to work with them. Like your wisdom, like you can be, but like jiu-jitsu, it's for me at least, grappling. Like that's not the pain that I want. So I'm like, I won't be able to like do wrestling and shit like that, and my knees and shit are popping. Like it hurts.
So what's your idea for planning for this fight? Like, how do you prepare for this fight? Are you same way you're watching films on this other dude? Do you know this other guy?
Yeah. So I mean, I watched him. He's good. He's tough. He's really tough. He's tough. He's young and he's tough, but he's just not.
How old is he?
I think he's like 28 or something.
Okay.
So he's just not ready for it.
What was his? He has a record of 8-6.
Yeah.
Okay, so this dude, now you two are Brawler 24/7 Fight Club. Now, this dude's 28. Like you said, he doesn't really have anything to lose. Is this obviously probably his biggest fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
His biggest fight, definitely.
Now, what is your idea for camp? Like technically you should be in camp right now, right?
Yeah, I'm done. Oh yeah, camp's over. Yeah. 1 week.
Now, it's next week. I guess the time's flying. Yeah. It's weird that they're already in there. Now, do you approach this any differently at all than any of the other camps?
No, we do it the same. I mean, like I did a lot of work with my brother because his style of fighting. There's I work with my brother a lot, and then there's a young kid that I work with Ludwig. Well, his name is actually what's his name? Jacob. He actually lives around here. But I work with him a lot because he has a very similar style to this guy. Like I said, this guy he has good kickboxing, he has pro kickboxing, pro boxing. So I got some pro boxing work in and stuff. But like he's good. He's good at stuff, but he's not really great at it.
Yeah, sharpened all the way.
Yeah, he's not, and I don't think he hasn't felt like what it. There's like I got to work with Hooker when I went out to Vegas.
Yeah,
and I did okay. I did pretty decent, pretty good with him. But there's levels, and you don't understand it until you understand.
It was a different level of work.
Fuck.
Yeah,
you're like, oh shit, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, like Jesus Christ, dude. Like just little, like and then not like big. He doesn't have some 10-finger death strike that I've never seen before, but. Just little small
intricacies that people develop over years.
Shit. Like, wow. And it's just little small stuff. And then he went out there and got like smoked in his fight. Yeah. I was sitting there scratching my head like, God damn. like there's levels to this shit. I'm like, I was having problems with him, and that dude just like took him down and just ragged off and took his arm off. Like there's levels. I don't think you really understand it until you felt it. You're like, oh fuck. Like I mean, like how they talk about like those Kazakhstan wrestlers, like there's levels to that. Like I've wrestled some good state wrestlers. Like you've never wrestled a D1 college wrestler? No, you have no idea. So then there's that, and then it's like, oh, you never wrestled these Kazakhstan style wrestlers, their style of wrestling. You have no idea. Like
levels to this shit.
There's levels to it, man. Like levels to the striking. I mean, so. That's basically what I'm looking forward to, like showing him and letting him see like there's just levels to what you're feeling.
Now, that card, how many fights are on there? You know? I didn't even look at the whole card
there's
yet.
10 fights, I think. 10 or 8 fights.
Yeah. That's going to be wild. It's in Monroeville?
Yeah, Monroeville Convention Center. Yeah.
Now, how do people get tickets still there?
I think you can go to 247.com and buy tickets.
Yeah.
Or you can like come. I'll be at the gym with tickets until my last day is like Wednesday, I think, so you can come through. But like I tell everybody, if you need tickets now, I'm gonna be cranky as fuck. I might throw them at you.
Yeah, what's their so what are you walking out? What are you walking around at?
I woke up this morning, I was like 13 and a half pounds over.
Okay, so now whenever you took this fight, I think the last time I interviewed you said you usually walk around 183.
Yeah, that's where I was when I took the fight at 183.
Now, your cuts in your older years,
they get harder.
Do they get harder?
They get way harder.
Oh yeah. So this is gonna suck. All this.
Yeah, I mean, like I know they get harder, so I've been keeping them under. It's just because like you just there's other shit going on. Like you know, I'm still taking my daughter to daycare, and she's doing this, and she's like 3. We're trying to potty train her, and she's banging, and she's screaming.
Yeah, you're trying to live a life and be a dad.
There's so much more going on top of it. But I know I can always, if I need to just cut the weight, I can just go sit in the sauna and cut the weight. Like I'm a professional, so I cut. For the Devontae fight, I cut 19 pounds in
like 4 days, right?
So I mean, if I gotta do it, I gotta do it.
That's crazy.
I mean, I like it, but if I gotta do it, I gotta do it.
Yeah, that's insane. Now, for you to, you know, prepare for this, like, what's what's like the goals of what you would like to happen in a perfect world? Obviously, you have the gym. You know, like let's say both hypotheticals. Let's say, you know, you win this fight by knockout, you know, back to the UFC. That's like obviously your goal for that?
Not necessarily. Again, like I was talking with my manager, I don't really have to go to UFC.
Yeah.
My thing is whoever has the biggest bag, that's where I'm going. If you know somebody that has illegal fights in his basement and he's paying 6 figures, I'm gonna be in somebody's fucking basement fighting for 6 figures. Like I'm fighting for strictly money.
Now, what do you think about like Eagle Fight and everything like that? Like, are you into like? I love that. That's going to be a thing. Obviously, it'll never touch like the UFC, but you know, them smaller organizations, it's like, do you have any qualms about that besides that?
Like I said, as long as
they're picking up dope people.
Yeah, as long as you're paying me, like me, I even like one, I'm even like I told my manager, like even like I'll do everything but bare knuckle. Bare knuckle's a little bit
crazy.
Yeah, I like my hands.
I watched a couple the other day just on Instagram. I came across one of the reels and it literally looked like Snatch with fucking Brad Pitt. This dude hit this dude with a left and came under with a right, and it was like a wild knockout.
My man Rocky, he does bare knuckle. And he like and my coach Dave Sachs cornered him at the bare like BKF or whatever, and he went down and he goes, "Dude, it's insane." He goes, "Everyone's coming back with broken hands and broken arms."
Fuck yeah,
hands and broken arms. I'm like,
oh my god.
I'm like, I'm a bitch. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say nothing else. I'm like, I don't know about that. Like I'm gonna have to, if I'm doing that, it's gonna have to be like over like $60,000 because I know I'm not gonna be able to do anything for like 3 months. Yeah,
because you're gonna break your fucking eye socket. You know what I mean? Like, God,
I'm like
that would be terrible. You know, I definitely have heard arguments about how people say that bare knuckle. I think Rogan says it, but he's a fucking nut anymore. But
they
like
safer.
He said that it's safer because people aren't going to hit as hard. It's like, motherfucker,
no, yes, they are, you idiot.
Crushing you in the side of the fucking head.
When people say they're not going to hit as hard,
oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
No, you are going to hit as hard. You're just going to break your hand and get someone's face.
Is there any fighting organizations that have more weight classes than the UFC?
Eagle. I know they're making 165 or whatever. I know he was talking about that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Then I even like the Triller stuff. I even like like they're paying as long it's as long as you're
dude.
Paying,
why not? Right?
I'm like I want to do some kickboxing before I retire too. So like
that would be cool.
I would like to like maybe do something with Glory or something eventually at some time. So
that would be sick. Yeah, I forgot about Triller. They're putting on all kinds of shit,
and they're just paying people dumb money into like boxing a
triangle. I know you're
it's like
wild
a triangle.
For that, right?
I'm like okay. I'm like
bro, put me up against some celebrity. I'll fight Shia LaBeouf right now. You know what I mean?
That's
boys are paying you $1 million to fight Shia LaBeouf. It's like, let's go.
And that's the thing. I'm like, would I do that? I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, I'm actually like, I think I'd be fine. Like,
well, I think there's a difference. I mean, this is me being a civilian. Okay. Like I was talking to my wife. I was like, I'm nervous to talk to him today. And she was like, well, why are you nervous? You've known him for years. And I was like, because it's like we interviewed last time and we're fucking riding on a roller coaster in an amusement park. It's like, you're in the UFC, knock this fucking dude out. And I was like, he just went through some shit, 3 loses, like from a civilian's point of view, it's like he's out, all right? Because there's a million hungry ass wolves in the UFC that are gonna jump right over you. And it's like, that's realistic. As a fan, I wanted to know your mindset of it all, because it's like, I know that this world of social media is a blessing and a curse, because it's like people are putting all highlight reels on their social media. So it's like, you're looking at people, it's like if some knockout happens, it's like you're seeing it all day, every day, and it's just being banged into your head. And it's like, for you, it's like, oh, this looks a little sharp, this looks that. It could sway you. It's like, I told her, I was like, I don't think that he would ever have a bad mindset. I just don't envision you being someone, but it's awesome to hear the way you're approaching it now, because from my point of view, I think some fans of it would look down on some bigger UFC fighters like Tyron Woodley, like doing this shit, whether he's rapping or anything like that, but he's getting a bag. I can't hate on him for that. But it's like, you guys already put in all this work. It's like, it's not like you're just like jumping in, trying to get some fame and then like trying to get a bag. It's like, you motherfuckers have been here.
And that's the thing. It's like, you can't knock someone for doing, for like putting the price tag, I guess you can say, on their self-worth.
Yeah, you cannot.
I'm like, I don't say shit about it. Like, you do what you got to do.
It's an interesting like point of view though, because it's like, it's just like a wild thing to think about, because it's like, I feel like, 6-7 years ago, whenever I was watching UFC, it's like, I would have never like really guessed any of this weird shit would have been happening. Like, these YouTube people, and like, then you have like Rough and Rowdy, which is like from Barstool. And it's like, I bought a couple of them and watched them. They're entertaining. And it's just like, it's like wrestling. Wrestling is still on TV.
I don't get how wrestling even happens. I don't I'm like, you probably know Shane Shinaki.
Who?
Shane Shinaki from Pittsburgh.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, he's a pro wrestler. His girl, Lady Frost, she's like in what is it, TNT, I think it is.
I'm trying to get that Britt Baker on here.
Yeah, that's her, right?
Oh.
Is that her?
She's a dentist?
No.
Oh, no. This is Britt Baker is the AEW like champion. She's from Pittsburgh too, but it's just like, wrestling is like, people know that it's fucking scripted and it's fake, but it's like, people are entertained by it. It's like, people get entertained by any of this wild shit. So I love that there's more options.
It's live theater. That's the thing. Like, some people will go see theater. Like, oh, I'm dignified. When you watch pro wrestling, it's the same shit. It's just peaking a different interest.
It's honestly more complicated because you got to not die.
Because you're hurting. You're getting hurt. Exactly.
Now, for you to like, run the gym and everything like that. Now, switch a little bit over from you being a fighter to you being, a businessman and a gym owner. We talked before the pandemic, what is life like, during a pandemic owning a gym?
Ugh, hell.
I bet it was.
I mean, like, it's getting better now. Like, I'm getting much better at being a business owner.
Yeah.
As well as at the same time as being a fighter. But it's a lot of work. But yeah, it was rough, but the whole world was rough. So
yeah, the whole world was
I get
rough.
To the whole point of, I can sit there and be like, oh fuck, man, my business, or I can be there like, yo.
Well, did you have to shut down for a while?
Yeah, we shut down for I think like 3 months or so.
Yeah.
3 months or so. So I mean, like, so it sucked. You just had to cough up some cash, and then like, unfortunately, you couldn't get like any small loan, like. Small business loans or anything like that or whatever. Yeah. But luckily for me, I just fought in the UFC, so I had a decent amount of money saved up. So I just put it back in and held back on the tax front and stuff. So it kind of balanced itself out. I mean, I think, if anything, COVID kind of showed small businesses that you can't live
the way that you were living.
Yeah, because like, especially restaurants, like all restaurants operate month to month.
Yeah.
And once COVID hit, motherfucker was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was wild. I was interviewing a few people during it, and it's just like, it's crazy to hear about the shit that you were hearing.
Yeah, it's
for people that didn't have like any sort of like money saved up. It's like, you're fucked.
Yeah,
you really are.
So, but in the same sense, like I told people, a lot of people, I'm like, it's also time to pull an audible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's time to pull a fucking Tom Brady, pull a fucking audible and figure a different...
People get creative.
Yeah, I mean, like, right, COVID made a lot of people money, too.
Yeah, it did.
A lot of people money.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, there's always an opportunity. There's always, like, I think about chess. Like, there's always a next move.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Unless it's checkmate.
Yeah.
Unless it's fucking checkmate.
There's always
like,
another way.
There's always a different path that you can take and stuff. So... it just takes a little bit of sitting down and thinking, and maybe a little bit of extra hard work and stuff. I mean, some people did some criminal shit, but like and then some people did some stuff that found some loopholes and shit. Like there's loopholes and just loopholes everywhere.
Yeah, you just got to put in the time to find out
where the fuck they're at. Sit there, rub your hands together, and be like, it's not illegal, but it's morally illegal.
Now we talk about how you got this fight, and then you approach whoever has the biggest bag. Now, let's say things don't go your way. Now, what is what's your goal in life, after fighting? Like, if you were to stop fighting, do you see yourself becoming a coach long term and like doing that? A drug dealer? You ever watch Snowfall?
Yeah,
that's about to come back. It makes you want to think about it.
You know who my favorite is? I love Ghost from Power.
I never watched Power, but I know it's great.
Power is the reason that I even own the gym now, because I started watching Power, and it the character Ghost kind of inspired me to be more than what I was. Cause at the time I was just working at the gym and I was just okay working, but Ghost wanted to be more than just a drug dealer. He wanted to make himself more. So by watching him, I actually kind of told myself that I need to be more, and I kind of lay up to me behind the gym. It's a whole long story, but basically, yeah, power's my shit.
Yeah, I need to. People have mentioned that on here quite a few times.
It's good. It's really, really good. I know my sister watches Snowfall. There's a couple of spinoffs off of Power. I don't really mess with them too much. I'm like, nah. But
Snowfall is real good.
I know those days. I know John Singleton he was producing it, right?
Yeah,
He's
he was
dead now,
yeah,
right?
He
so
is.
I know they said I wanted to see if it changed or not, or if
it'll be interesting. I think that this last season he was already finished. Mm-hmm. Maybe before he died, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. You said you are up to date on it? Or you didn't watch it?
No, I haven't watched it, no.
Yeah, see, they made the last finale. It was kind of strange. I'm really curious to see how they do it, because it's like anything. It's like people destroy it. Like The Walking Dead, it went from being like really impeccable to being just like,
over and over.
It's like General Hospital. It's like, it ain't even about zombies anymore. It's about people's relationships.
It's like Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious was supposed to be about fast cars, and now it's like they're superstars. I have a collector's edition Fast and believe me, I was a big fan. I stopped watching it after I watched a Ferrari go through a skyscraper to another next one.
I'm done with it. Done with it.
How?
And then there's some people that are like, man, I love all this action, and it's like, I watched John Wick for all the action, but it's like, I don't want to watch. You ain't like Vin Diesel was not catching someone over a bridge and landing perfectly. I just can't do it.
The worst was Hobbs and Shaw. So when they brought The Rock on, it just went over the top. So
that dude's getting his bag.
The Rock is one of my favorite people, right?
Yeah.
Completely idolize that guy. There's a scene in Hobbs and Shaw where they have Idris Elba's flying this war helicopter, probably like a Black Hawk or some shit, but something. It's even stronger than the Black Hawk. It's fucking insane, because he's like this supered up half robot person, right? So he has this airplane. He's flying. He's trying to kill him. They can't. The whole scene's insane. And they have the helicopters connected by a chain. It's hooked to the helicopter, and it's on a tow truck, and they're driving the tow truck, and the chain breaks, and The Rock grabs it. And he pulls it
fuck out of here.
So my thought, I'm in a theater, and I'm like, I literally step and go, how the fuck is that possible? Yeah. Right? And my fiance was like, sit down. I'm like, so I thought about Captain America. Remember, Captain America had trouble holding on to a helicopter and pulling it in. I'm like, and that's fucking Captain America.
Yeah, it's Captain America. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's just so bad.
That's what I mean. I can't do it anymore. In good conscience, I can't.
Dude, the last one, they took him to space. They literally
I heard about
Ludacris and Tyrese were in space in a Ford like a Toyota or some shit, like with Rock. I swear. And you're just like, And they make it like they spoof themselves. I'm like, yeah,
well, they're getting their bags
now.
You know, I actually just watched it's called Architect's Digest. It's basically Cribs, but a more like, you know, refined version.
Yeah.
And I just watched Tyrese. Tyrese has the illest house I've ever seen in my life.
From doing goofy shit.
Yeah,
right?
from doing goofy shit. But it's like, who would have thought the 90s R&B just came out to be one of the biggest like actors ever?
I mean, Ludacris was a phenomenal rapper, and he's gotten more into that shit.
He's the peanut butter spokesman now. Yeah, he's a Jif peanut butter spokesman. I don't know, dude. It's wild. But, you know, people were getting their bags. That's what it is. You can't hate on it.
You seriously can't. I was talking, we were laughing the other day about Pitbull.
Ugh.
And we're like, yo, Pitbull,
Mr. Worldwide.
Like, he make every song
makes
sounds
his money.
exactly the same song, and he's still doing Pitbull shit.
I know. I can't hate on people. It's like, I did episodes on here during the pandemic to just keep episodes coming out. I did one on like the pyramid schemes and shit like that, and how those people were just filthy human beings. And it's like, you know, I hate on them at some point, but it's like sometime they're still putting in work to finesse these other idiots. So it's like you gotta show respect for it.
Like things like that, like that's different. Like if you're like the people, if you're scamming people's social security numbers, but if you're the Kardashians. And it's like those people like 40-year-old or 90-day fiancés. And people watch that shit, and I'm like, and people are like, well, they're stupid. I'm like, but you're watching it.
Yeah, you're watching it. It's entertainment.
And you're giving it in. You're giving
watching
them money.
Rough and Rowdy.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're wondering why like 90-day fiancé people are making money because you're watching this shit and you're making it a show. And
you gotta have And
there's and the thing is, you forget there's like billions of people. There's so many people on Earth, and like you can't. There's a new show coming out. I think it's called My Strange Life, and it's just about like different type of people, and they're like people that identify as werewolves or all kind. And it's bizarre.
You know, it's wild. Fuck. People are fascinated.
And you're just like, wow, there's so many. You forget there's so many fucking weird. There's so many different people. Everyone can't be the same. Like
everyone's their own way of weird.
We're not clones. So like I just let everyone do their thing, and I just do me. And
I know, I love that.
Like, stay away from negative energy.
I know, you got to be positive. So what's the long-term goal? You know, like, you know, eventually at one point, whether it be sooner or later, you're going to be done fighting.
Not really, though. Hopefully we can start, like, robot fighting.
Robots?
Yeah, like,
that'll be sick. You ever see that movie, Real Steel? That movie was honestly a sleeper. That movie was so good.
So what they're talking now is I'm like, maybe we can start getting into this metaverse, and I can, like, not have to beat my body. You can fight, but not actually get beat up.
Like VR fighting. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, maybe that's the future.
There might be, that might be shit like that, VR fighting.
Oh, so wait, Dana White said, I think he said within the next couple of years, they're going to have like metaverse fights, which are, you're going to be able to watch the fight in the cage.
Oh yeah.
So you'll be able to sit right in there and like be right next to him and stuff. So you won't have to buy tickets or anything. So eventually we'll get to the point where you'll be able to fight. Nothing will be real, you know, essentially. So maybe I'll be able to fight and still be old and shit. That's all right.
I mean, that would be dope. Do you naturally have that coaching like bone in your body?
Yeah, I'll coach. I mean, I like to coach. I like to see people grow because you feel some of that. Like, you know, as a coach, you feel that and stuff. So, I mean, like I'll get to that point where I'll be like, okay, it's time to start coaching stuff, and I'll just take it from there. And see people. But people are frustrating too.
I bet.
Like, young kids are fucking frustrated. Like,
I bet they are.
I'm just saying, like, you guys are so fucking stupid. And I think back, like, damn, was I this stupid?
Yeah, you were. Damn. I was too.
I'm like, I always talk about, like, people doing dumb shit on social media. I'm like, but imagine if there was social media when I was younger. How many girls would have got dick pics or something?
Crazy.
I'm like, you know, like, you just do dumb shit. Cause like, as soon as you got text messaging, I remember when they started text messaging. That was like the dumbest, like, because you would just start doing dumb shit that you never knew. So if I had Instagram when I was younger, like, you watch all the girls and they're like dancing and doing whatever, and people are like, oh yeah, I'm like, but dude, like, you remember Freak Nick? Yeah. Like all the colleges get together. I'm like, somebody has a VHS recorder. Your mom's shaking her booty too. It just wasn't as
different world
accessible back then. Like, now it's just easier accessible now.
Yeah, it's like back then. It's like you had to keep tabs. You were on AIM and you left like an away message.
Exactly.
And it's like, I'm hanging out at Dave's house tonight, and you're like,
you had to be there to see it. So, but now you don't have to be there to see it. You can like be somewhere else and see it and stuff. So
yeah, it's definitely a blessing and a curse. I talk about it all the time on here. It's all about how you use it. I used to be someone who was definitely addicted to my phone, like way too much. Like if my phone would die, I would get like panic attacks.
Right.
But now it's like I don't even want to be near it. I don't want to. I just hate it, and I just rather cut my grass. Sit outside and watch my peppers grow. I do weird shit now. I seriously just stay out here and just hang out with the dogs and just chill, dude. I don't really do too much. It's like, what do you do for fun besides like, being a fighter and a coach and a dad and a fiance?
I watch TV.
Yeah.
I am a movie person. I keep up on every movie. I watch like 80 different shows. What did I just finish? I just finished the new Dexter.
Did you like it?
Did you see it?
I didn't. I was never a Dexter person.
Okay. So you're probably not gonna watch it.
I watched the first season and it didn't grab me. And then I know the ending on how it ended with him in the cabin with the lumberjack, whatever. And then I saw that he was coming back. But were you someone who liked it?
I liked it, but I was upset. I was upset because
don't give any spoilers.
I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, I just wanted to know what you thought about it.
I liked it, but I was upset. I was like, but it was good. I think it was good.
So I've recently had that experience with Scream. I'm a big Scream fan.
Yes.
Did you watch it?
No, I haven't seen. My daughter wants to go see it. I need to go take her to go see it. She wants to go see it.
So the first Scream I regard as the best slasher movie of all time. It's my favorite. I think it's the top tier. Just the fact that it's a realistic thing. People, 2 kids, psychopaths killing their friends.
Not like some dude with superhero
Michael Myers killed him 70 times.
Right.
The new Michael Myers, trash.
I can't believe they
it was
keep making
the worst.
The same things over and over again.
I was baffled.
I thought they killed him.
I remember sitting there. Oh, you want to know how they didn't kill him? He just got out some way, caught on fire. I was sitting there watching it, and I remember looking at my wife, and I was like, I think that this is a really bad movie. And she was like, oh, it's terrible. And I remember getting out of it and I was like, I was so upset. But, I think Scream is the best. Scream 2 was cool. Scream 3 was a terrible movie. Scream 4 was, okay.
Right.
This Scream, I thought I was going to hate it way more. It was very corny and there was a ton of things that were terrible about it, but I didn't hate it.
Was it the nostalgia?
It was nostalgia.
A lot of people are saying the nostalgia was like the good about it.
It was nostalgia, but it was also like, it's also the nostalgia would ruin it a little bit, but
right.
I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I'm also a movie guy though. I try to keep up on shit. I've been running through all of Hell's Kitchen lately, so that's been taking up a lot of my time.
Okay.
Did you watch The Sopranos?
No, I don't. I never really like. I don't really like gangster stuff. I don't. A lot of people were surprised, but I'm not. I don't get people's obsession with gangster. Like let's say people my uncle he was in the mob. He used to break people.
Did you watch Breaking Bad?
My fiance did. I kind of watched the end of it.
So if that doesn't get its hooks in you, I don't think any sort of like.
I use like I said I watched like drug dealer stuff. I watch Power.
Ozark.
I go in and out. Like my fiance, she watches it, so I'll come in like, okay, who's this? What are they doing? Who's this? I like the little.
So you watch Dexter? What other shit did you?
Yellow Jackets.
Oh yeah, people been telling me about that.
Fucking good.
I gotta watch that.
That's dope as fuck.
I gotta watch that.
What is the other show? I watched The Wilds. That was the show on
Amazon. That was fire.
That was fucking
that was real good. I didn't expect it to be like that at the end.
Really fucking good. Well, on Amazon, I also watched The Boys.
I didn't watch that.
That's phenomenal. Come back.
I never jumped in any sort of like superhero. The most I ever watched was like up to I watched Iron Man 1 and 2, and I've never seen any other superhero.
Oh my god! I watched the superhero movies. Did you watch the Luke Cage?
No, I never watched any of those.
Were like I'm telling you, I've watched.
People been telling me to watch Punisher, Daredevil.
Yeah, I mean, like Daredevil was okay. Punisher was good. Luke Cage was really good.
Yeah,
like really, really good because the acting was really, really good in Luke Cage. What else have I been watching recently? I'm waiting for Snowpiercer to start up. You know Snowpiercer?
No,
but that's a good show. I watch all the Law and Orders. Like you just watch. I just watch the Law and Orders. Like you just sit there. Like me and my friends woke up. The kids know. Like it's fucking Law and Order time. Like you turn.
So your guilty pleasures is TV.
TV. I can sit there. I'll sit there and watch like 8 hours of TV.
Wow, that's wild.
Like because it's just like a lot of people.
You can turn your brain off.
And that's the thing. Like a lot of people are like, how do you play video games? I'm like, because I have to fucking activate. I have to do stuff to play video games.
I don't play any video games.
I like to watch TV because it can take me away. It makes me think, but it takes me away. Like I watched the show recently. It was called Archives 81 on Netflix.
People have been saying that was crazy.
Fucking over.
I gotta watch that.
Dude, that show's fucking nuts. You'll be tripping like, what
the last show that I watched that like really stuck with me that I really enjoyed was I watched the whole Sopranos. I thought that was like impeccable because, you know, for that to be for that to have came out when it did back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, like that was the first like show that everyone watched, like Game of Thrones. Right. Everyone was watching that besides me. But
yeah, I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Me either.
I'm more of this is not to cut you off. My thing is I have to think.
Yeah.
I have to think. It has to make me
like curious. Did you watch True Detective?
Yeah, I watched True Detective. See, I love that. I love like Lost. Yeah. Lost was the best thing ever.
Stuff that kind of makes you curious and like confusing.
Exactly. Like if I can figure it out. If it's just me watching, it's like me watching like regular shows. It's like just me watching reality TV. Like,
do you watch reality TV at all?
No, I can't. I can't get down with reality TV.
Some things I like, some things I don't like. I get down on some singing shows. I watch like The Voice and shit like that. I just love hearing people sing. But
so you probably like to say I've never watched like American Idol or like Dancing with the Stars or anything like that. I've never watched it.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's mine. Like I just can't, like, or even like The Bachelor or anything like that. I'm like,
yeah,
guys never.
That's a little bit too much. You're just like, that's like I'm literally getting dumber watching this.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I used to watch Love and Hip Hop.
Never watched that,
dude. It's and
was that the one with Flavor Flav?
No, it's the one with like Cardi B came off of Love and Hip Hop.
Oh yeah,
so like and it would just be people in New York, like ex-rappers. I like because like former, but they would just be, their lives was
just dumbass shit.
Dumb.
I mean, sometimes you gotta just be able to like turn your brain off. Yeah. You got to. I mean, especially you. It's like obviously anything that anyone is doing, not even just you, but it's like you're spending like 40 plus hours a week working, and it's like I never understood. Like my mom would come home and she would be a reality TV fiend, but she was also like she was a big wig at PNC. So when she's working 60 hours a week, but when she wasn't working, she would like put on this brainless shit. And I'm just like,
she was like,
how the fuck are you watching this? But that's exactly it. It's like, I get it now because I'm working. I'm like thinking about life, bills, whatever. It's like, sometimes I just want to come home and put on Gordon Ramsay and watching shit on someone.
Gordon Ramsay, dude. So
he's the funniest.
Reason, my phone started to give me like links, and I just like my fiance would catch me and Gordon Ramsay, you eat this?
Yeah.
He's like in people's kitchens,
he
like
don't
doing
care,
shit.
Dude.
I'd be cracking that, and the guy Bar Rescue.
Oh yeah,
I watch Bar Rescue.
Ridiculous.
Because these are like reality TV, but it's giving you an insight to some shit. And you're like, damn.
Yeah, like some business type shit.
Really run their business like this? Like,
yeah, you're like, that's
dead rap little thing. Yeah,
I know. You'll see people. This is all moldy food, and he flips out.
Hey, it's like,
ridiculous.
What the fuck? You're serving this stuff like this salmonella poison. Everyone's gonna die. I'm shutting you down now. And like it comes back and stuff. But it's
insane.
real. That's the thing. I know they did that one place here in Pittsburgh. That's why I like that because it's real. It's reality.
They did a place in Pittsburgh,
and the guy they fixed it up. And the guy took it all right back afterwards. So and then it ended up closing. I like those things because they're actual.
Yeah.
There's
some real shit.
This is real shit. People are really fucking their things up. Like it's not really hard to find businesses that are fucking up.
Yeah. I know, it's pretty crazy. Now, I'm curious, how many, what types of different classes are you teaching down at the gym? I see kids classes. I see women's classes.
Right. We have. So I teach the kids classes, and I teach the ladies fitness classes, and I teach MMA classes, and I teach kickboxing, and then I have a jiu-jitsu coach, I have a boxing coach, and
you got the whole shebang down there.
Yeah, we do everything from jiu-jitsu, MMA, boxing, anything you can think of. Might even start like knife fighting or some shit.
Knife fighting,
pillow fighting.
I'll be getting into that. Tie our arms together.
Yeah, knife fighting.
What? So for you two, do you have like prospects down there? Like, do you have like young people that you see that you were like that? Like, are you the type of coach that like? I know you say you don't like force things on people, but like, can you recognize people that are like different than other people down there?
Oh yeah, definitely. But I don't put too much effort into it.
Yeah,
because life happens.
Yeah,
and I've put effort into people before, and I thought like, oh, they're gonna be great, and then life happens. And then they change, and they don't come, and you're just like, what the fuck? fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't put too much. Like once you show me, like right now we have a decent amount of people, a lot of up and coming guys. We have, but it's just like I don't overthink it because.
Yeah, life happens.
Yeah,
like you said, shit could just,
in
a month from now, he could just not want to do it anymore. She could not want to do it.
Especially with younger kids, like I don't think people quite get what this sport, with anything,
the requirements and like
what it requires,
mental, physical.
Like the physical part, you can do. Anyone can do the physical part, but the mental, like the exhaustion. Like I said, like we starting this when you're young, like you'll get exhausted.
Yeah.
You know? Like or like, and then you'll just keep being like. I remember one guy. My man Matt Conahan, he used to fight, and we had both lost. It's when I lost to Paul Felt. No, I just won. Oh, maybe I did lose to somebody, and he got knocked out. And he was like, "This sport asks too much of us." And I was like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, "Yeah, I'm like it's supposed to."
Yeah.
But he stopped fighting, and I kept going. He's my man. He's a good friend of mine. But like, it's hard. Like I don't think you know.
It's not for everyone.
No, and like that's what happened with Ronda Rousey. Like, you know, you're like, oh, you're gonna win. You're like, oh, I'm gonna be the shit. I'm the shit. And then like when the sport starts, when like the Grim Reaper starts coming back and reaping, then you're like, God damn, dude. Like
I just watched like some of her highlights again because like, you know, you look at like Amanda Nunes, like that, like I think that was like one of the biggest losses in Vegas. I was reading people were losing crazy money. But it's wild. It's wild to see.
And that's the thing.
Like
it's like how do you adjust to that? How do you and like if you and then you have to do it on a local scene. You have to be able to like get shit on.
Yeah.
And come back. That's not an easy thing to do.
Do you get like did you notice people shitting on you on social media and like
dude, like oh my like at first I used to get into it. This one guy like, what you need to do is not it's just like and I was thinking. And then I think I might have talked to Cody about something about one thing.
Garbrandt?
Yeah, and he was like, dude, like these people don't.
It's like they don't even matter.
Like, dude, and then you're like, yeah, they don't even.
They don't fucking matter.
Like, yeah,
people like me that are like, you're a loser, man.
And that's the thing. They're just like, you suck, you should have never. I'm like, so like, what are you doing?
Cody's been through the ringer too.
Yeah, I mean, like people talk about Cody. I'm like, dude, he's a former fucking world champion.
Yeah.
What did you do with your life?
I
like,
know.
do you know what it means to be a world champion? Like, do you know how hard it is? How much you have to,
especially in like that weight class too.
It's not easy. So I mean, like, so I just like I could lose my next 6 fights and still be like, dude, I've done more than like 9
Fuck
years.
yeah.
You know, so I don't overthink the process. Like
knocked someone out and got interviewed by Joe Rogan on the biggest UFC card of the year.
What did you do?
Like that's a moment you'll never forget in your fucking life.
People, like it's a spectator. Like you know what I mean? Like it's the gladiator. You know, you like hey, how dare you? I'm like yeah, but you don't know what it takes. Like you couldn't do it. My favorite thing people say I could do. I mean, no, you can't.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't. I'm like, no, you can't.
Those people never even took one jiu-jitsu class.
I'm like, dude, you couldn't even come close. You couldn't even come close to what it to like wrapping your brain around what it takes to do that.
It's weird, but like, you know, I bring this story up a lot, but it's like I never worked in the food industry, but I filled in for a couple days at my buddy's restaurant in Southside, and I was just running food.
Psychotic,
and it's just like sitting in the kitchen, being able to see a kitchen in operation during a busy night with just 3 people that are literally like, you know, buzzing around, just making all this shit happen. It's like the amount of respect that you gain from that little insight is leaps and bounds from what you had. And then you have people that are like, my fucking salad is a little bit like, and you're like, bro, I'm up there in the trenches. I don't give a fuck about your crouton. Throw me a fucking bone. And it's like, you don't have that like insight. But same thing with UFC. It's like before I went and took some jiu-jitsu classes, you know, it's easy to be able to sit there and be like, you know, like what, like the craziest thing in the world to me is whenever Conor fought Khabib and you have all these people that are like, they're just laying on the ground. It's like, motherfucker, it's like literally getting choked to death. You don't even understand. Even 1 second of a person that is not good laying on you and you just trying to get them off of you is insane. Imagine like the craziest motherfucker in the world trying to do it.
And he feels like a PT Cruiser just sitting on you.
Oh my God.
I mean, like, I always tell, I just, unless it, always use like the serenity prayer. I'm like, I deal with the things, change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So like you can't deal with every dumb on. And social media isn't real.
I know,
like,
it's crazy.
I always gotta tell my fiance this. I'm like, social media isn't real. I'm like, it's not real. I'm like, if you like someone's picture, you're not actually like you're not that person's friend.
It's crazy.
Like, if you like, it's like when people say, yeah, like send some prayers on my way, and they be like, I'm like, Jesus isn't liking that person more because
like and share this for one prayer.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not how it works. Like, you know, it's like
it's
all
wild,
because you
dude.
have a whole bunch of friends on social media doesn't mean you have real friends in real life. And like always, what I like to do is I like to take like Instagram posts while I'm taking the shit, and I'm like, yes. We take shits too. I bet you didn't know that motherfuckers be taking. Because in my Instagram post, I'll post my highlight of my day in one picture or a 50-second video. That's not real.
Yeah.
For the other like 20, like it's 24 hours. I mean, like for the rest of the day, I did all kinds of shit. Like you know, I had my like I had to change a shitty diaper. I had to do this.
I used to be like that. I used to be the one that was like always posting shit. Like I'm this and that, and it's just like. I don't know, maybe whenever I was 25, 26, 27, I started to like, you know, mentally like change the place that I was at as far as like the things that mattered, you know, whether wearing shit, like buying clothes for a certain reason, just like it's crazy to me to think about it now from where it was even 5 years ago. It's wild.
I tell people all the time, like I wear
all your shit.
I don't buy. I bought a pair of jeans yesterday. That was the first pair of jeans I bought in like 4 years. I don't buy clothes.
Yeah,
I buy sweatpants. I don't. I'm like my
gym
thing.
Clothes.
I mean my thing.
You dress like a gym teacher.
Yeah, I mean like I'm gonna like I have a Alfa Romero now, and I'm looking to trade that in. I want to get something fast because it's not fast.
What do you have?
Alfa Romero.
What is that?
It's like an Italian sports car.
Alfa Romero.
Yeah,
I've never even heard of that.
No.
You got that out there now?
That's why I got it.
It's out there right now.
It's out there right now. Yeah,
after.
It's nice. I mean, it's fast. It's like the all-wheel drive. So there's a quattro version, which is like rear-wheel drive and has like 400 horsepower.
Yeah,
but I would prefer that one. This one doesn't have a lot of horsepower.
You like racing?
I don't like racing, but I like to go fast.
Yeah,
like I do. I've always liked like my big
the
thing,
adrenaline.
I love like cars. I'm a big car person.
Oh, really?
Like I'm a big foreign car type. Ferrari. I tell my fiance all the time, I'm like, I'm gonna do something real ignorant. I'm gonna buy $160,000 car. And I'm like, because that's all. That's really I don't.
What you wanted?
I don't want anything else. I don't like.
That's what your car is right there?
What? No, well, it's not $160,000.
No. Jesus.
No.
Fuck. You're driving around in the snow right now? I was like, you're sick.
So that's my plan. I'm like,
yeah.
I want to get like probably like a Ferrari or something within the next couple of years. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I don't really like designer glasses or anything like that.
Yeah, you just like what you some people like different things. You know?
So I like cars. Like
you need to have $700 jeans.
Yeah, no, I'll be in my freaking Ferrari with like paint on my pants. That's me.
What? So after you won, obviously the first time whenever you beat Deontay, you got a big bonus for that. Like, what did you ball out on anything?
No,
nothing.
I didn't buy anything.
Nothing at all.
I bought my new car I have now because my car I had a. So my little
you had
brother,
that Camaro, right, or Charger?
No, that's my fiance's car. She still has that. She still has
with the white
Durango,
one with the stripe.
Yeah, she still has that. So I had 2005 or 2009 BMW 3 Series. It had 147,000 miles on it, and there was a leak in the gasket. So every time I hit the brakes, the car would smoke. Like I swear to God, smoke would come through my vent. So like as I got back from my USC fight, I was driving this BMW, and like smoke would come through my vent when I hit the stop sign and stuff. I'm like, and my little brother was like, buy a new fucking car. It's like, and I was like, no, I'm gonna wait a little bit. So like I went out and like I had seen like the car I got wasn't crazy expensive or anything. I sold my old car, got the new car. Like I haven't really bought like I paid off my debt, and I like go on vacation like with the family and stuff. Like I'll do stuff.
You're not like a materialistic type.
No, like I'm a minimalist.
Yeah.
I'm a minimalist. I like my TV, and like I said, I want to have a fast exotic car, and that's really I don't really need anything else.
That's what's up.
Like I'm really weird like that. Like I moved in with my fiance. I moved in with 2 bags and TV. She's like, "Where's the rest of your stuff?" And I was like, "Why do I need more stuff?" And she was like, well, you're moving in. I'm like, well, then we're gonna have double stuff, and then we'll get storage. I'm like, why the fuck would I pay for something that I'm not gonna use?
My wife has slowly been transitioning me to more of a minimalistic lifestyle. It's hard for me.
I throw stuff away. I go around the house.
She does. She'll throw anything away.
I go to my closet. If I buy something new, I have to get rid of 2 old things.
That's what she's trying to get me to do, but it's hard for me to do it.
I have to.
I collect things, and it's like if I get into something, I got to get all the shit that I need.
Dude, like that's what my mom is. Like she's like I'm the complete opposite. Like I don't keep pictures. I don't keep memorabilia type stuff. like I went to Spain. I had all this stuff, and I just ended up just throwing it all away. Like I just throw stuff away. And I'm like, it's like I have it. It's in my head. I don't need. Like I don't. Like my fiance, she's the total opposite. Like her family, they're collectors. They have collections. I'm like, nah. I throw stuff away. I just throw stuff because I'm like, I don't know. Like it's kind of like when you see people recording a concert.
Yeah.
I'm like.
Yeah, I was that person, and now I don't do it anymore.
I'm like, why am I recording the concert? I'm like, I just
people are looking through it. You're recording it through a phone, so you're watching it through a phone. You're not present in the moment.
So it's like it's not like what you're doing. It's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
a placeholder for a memory. You don't even really need it,
but you don't even experience it for real because you're only thinking about the next time you're gonna watch it. So you're not even. So I don't. I'm really weird. Like I'm like, nah, I just don't.
I respect that.
I don't restore it. I don't keep stuff. My fiance hates it. Like I
respect that.
Let's take a picture. I'm like, no, I'm not taking a picture. She was like, why? I'm like, why would I need to take a picture when we're here? Like pictures are for other people. Why am I caring about showing other people what I'm doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's
I
weird
feel
like that.
That's understandable. I do an ending segment of the podcast called Desert Island Questions. All right, Desert Island Questions is whenever I give each guest 3 categories to take on a desert island until they starve to death and die. You've played this a few times, but no one remembers what you picked. First category, 3 movies.
Definitely a porn.
Which one? Any of them? Do you have a favorite porn actress?
No, I'm not like a big
gravitates.
Like, yeah, I'm like you just kind of look up there.
Like, I think you might have. I think whenever I picked books. You might have picked porn last time too.
If you're going to be on the island by yourself,
that's the same. That is the same logic that you brought up last time. I think. Okay, that's a good answer. So you got that.
Let me see. I'd probably pick the Return of the Jedi because if I'm going to die, I'd want to pick like a movie that makes me think of my childhood and stuff like that. And then, so you know what? This is going to sound strange, but I would probably pick Tenet.
Tenet. I didn't watch it yet.
Because that movie is the concept of that movie.
It's worth watching.
It'll be life changing.
I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot.
If you get it, it'll be life changing. The concept of how time is, how we understand time, and what comes first, the chicken or the egg, and it's.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
I'm not even gonna ruin anything.
Yeah, don't ruin it. I heard that. I heard the reason that I didn't watch it is I heard the audio, the dialogue of the movie was like fucked up and you couldn't hear it that good. And I just remember that's why I didn't see it in the theater, because it's like the action around it was so loud you couldn't hear shit people were saying. But obviously I'm gonna sit in my house.
Yeah,
so
I gave it like a 12 out of 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's good. That. And like I watched it 4 or 5 times, and then I'm like, oh shit,
yeah,
that's that. I'm like, oh, that's that. So
Denzel's son, right?
Yes, that's his son, exactly. Yes, he's a phenomenal fucking actor. Really good.
I mean, literally taught by the best. It's like, oh, okay. So Tenet,
Tenet, porn, and The Emperor Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi.
Okay,
one of those 2.
That's a good variety.
Yeah, like childhood stuff.
One intense, one super heady, and one fun. Okay, 3. Now, I usually ask about 3 books, but I don't want to ask that. I want to know who you like as someone in the UFC. What do you think about the people coming up? Do you have any people that you like a lot watching?
I'm always a big Israel Adesanya fan. I've always been a big
fan. How can you not be a fan of his?
I just hope he's continuing his journey, like as a martial artist, but which I think he is.
What do you mean by that? Like training?
Not training, just evolving.
Yeah.
If you stop evolving, the sport catches up to you.
Yeah.
Like
Ronda Rousey and shit like that.
Yeah, like you're like, oh, I'm the shit. The next you know, everyone's the shit.
Who was his last fight?
He lost. What's it called? Blachowicz, Polish power.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He went up a weight class.
I forgot about that.
I mean, like, so that was hard. So we'll see how he is against Whitaker. Who else do I really like? Oh shit. Man, there's so many damn fighters.
There is a lot of fighters. You know who I was pumped to watch? What was his name? Hardy. He fought on this past.
Greg Hardy?
No, not Greg Hardy. He was just like, I think he was a white dude with cornrows. He just fought, and I never heard of him, but he was the underdog. He had a pretty sick fight.
Who did he fight?
I cannot remember his name. But there's definitely wild people. What do you think about people like that Patty Pimbley or something like that? I didn't even know that dude existed.
And again, that's another person. People are like, oh, he's going to be the future.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, do you understand? If someone tells you you're going to be the future, you're probably not going to be the future.
Yeah.
Like, you have to become the future because you become the future. Remember, like, what's that young girl's name? She's like, the future,
the fighter?
Dern, yeah, the young girl.
The Paige Van Zant?
No, she was one of them.
Yeah,
she was another one of them.
Mackenzie Dern?
No, she oh fuck. Her brother fights MMA too. But she like was talking all that shit, and then she got like murdered. She didn't really get murdered, but she just got beat, and it just fucked her up. And then she lost again. And then and you're like, yeah, dude, like that's welcome to fighting. You get knocked over, and you have to get back up. So I mean, I'm like really young fighters. There's that lightweight who just knocked out Brad Riddell. Aziz or whatever.
Oh yeah,
he's fighting RDA next. That
gonna be wild.
Shit. He's a bad dude. And then of course there's Glover Teixeira.
I was just gonna bring up. We were talking about. I was like, why didn't I bring up Glover when we were talking about Rashad and everything? It's like, who would have ever thought that?
Glover's the dude, man.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Him and what's his name? The champ, Oliveira and stuff like those guys. If you can't be like that, then you're probably not.
Who do you think wins between Oliveira and Justin Gaethje?
I think Oliveira's okay getting hit.
Yeah,
and you can't get hit by Justin Gaethje. Now, this is the thing that sucks, right? I think Justin Gaethje loses to Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the whole like Conor thing is so weird because I feel like he has a whole different factor that other people have, and it's just the leprechaun magic.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. Because how does it happen?
So this is the thing, right? With Conor,
when's the last time he fought? Like 3.5 years ago now.
He lost. No, he
did just lose.
He had a leg broken.
Yeah.
And then before that, he got knocked out. And then before that, he beat Cowboy. And then he got subbed. And then he won. And then he lost. But the big thing is the power transfer. The sport has caught up. Everyone's a freak now. Everyone's freakishly strong.
Yeah. Then you look at people like Dustin, who it's weird. It is weird.
Like you can't. Like McGregor used to get back on his talents. He hit hard as hell, and he was longer than everyone at 145. He's only beat 155er. Who is
man, there's so many good ones coming up. The fight on February 7th. It's he's the big dude from Australia. He drinks out of a boot.
For the shoey.
I fucking love him.
He's fighting fucking the Black Beast.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna die.
Someone is gonna die. It's gonna be chaos.
That's gonna be a
what did you think about Francis? Like, I thought that was
phenomenal.
Wildest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, like Francis, I like to see. I like Francis. Like I like. He's always growing.
Yeah,
that's the thing about Francis. He's always in a progression.
I would have never in my life bet that he would have won that way.
No one thought if it went 5 rounds, Francis is going to win. If it goes 5 rounds, Francis is going to lose. And that's what I liked, that he proved that he's always growing. So that's scary. So now people are like, fuck.
Yeah.
All right, Francis.
It's pretty weird.
And you have to people don't understand when he took Gong down that power bomb.
Yeah, he like flipped him. Yeah, he like leg slipped him.
That took it all out. Gong was.
I watched that and I was like, what the fuck?
They met, so that's 500 pounds.
Yeah,
that's 500 pounds of force, and you're
falling
on the bottom.
You're
on the bottom of all that weight slamming like that. Probably hurt. Like I can only imagine because he threw that spinning kick and he caught his leg and he dropped and both of them came off the ground and then they landed on the mat. That probably
leg sweep was wild.
That was brutal. So I mean, like
it's cool. It's a fun time to be a fan again because it's like not even again. It's just like I've always loved watching it ever since like 10 years ago, whenever like Chael was still fighting and shit. You know, like that was like fucking sick. That was like the equivalent of like Stone Cold.
Right.
You know, that era. But it's like then it felt like that there was just like, you know, a constant just flow, and now it feels like it's ramping up a little bit more.
I mean, I think like I said, it's like that with contact sports in general. Even with boxing, like I've always been like in the boxing.
I was never a huge boxer. Like my pap was always, he always would watch like any of the Tyson, you know, any of the big name boxing matches, but I never really cared about it back then. And like now I watch some boxing now. I care about it way more. Like I could appreciate it way more now than I was before. But it's definitely wild how everything is having a resurgence.
It's just fun. I mean, like people are like, especially now, like people want to escape their lives, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
so like that's why there's so many different type of contact sports, and people are willing to pay money for it.
Yeah, you have people like Connor that are like not even just contact sports superstars. They're like the well-known, the superstars.
They're all over fighting Machine Gun Kelly at VMAs and shit.
Just how just insane. What a wild dude. And then you have him like, you know, flexing in a mirror. Dude, you're just like
that was like I'm
gotta
like,
be
yo,
on he gotta be on some amphetamines.
You're just like
it's just like I it's weird because it's like you look at someone like Connor who was like homeless at one point, and now he is where he is, and then you look at someone like Francis who was homeless and now you see where he is, and it's just like I love both ends of it. I love the heel, and I love like the, you know, the graceful, like respectful way of it too.
I always tell people, I'm like, I wouldn't be like that if I had a lot of money, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I would be if I had hundreds of millions of dollars.
I know. Walking around with fucking $1 million watches, not even telling the time.
Piece of shit. Like I have no idea how I would be if I had that type of money. I would hope that I wouldn't, but you know, everything changes.
Never know.
Everything changes, man. Things change.
All right, third category. You get to pick 3 CDs.
Definitely the Black Album by Jay-Z.
Okay.
Bob Marley. I think it's called Black Man's Redemption. I think that's a song going. Or Redemption. And then Uprising. Bob Marley Uprising. And I'd probably go with Common B. I like that CD.
Last time I interviewed you, it was like you saw Common like 2 days beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. Common's one of my favorite, definitely one of my favorite artists, just because he's so much more than just a rapper. He's a
philosopher.
He's everywhere, dude. Like Common's everywhere. He like does so much different stuff. So yeah, definitely be Common.
Doesn't he act now?
Oh my god, yeah.
In like Law and Order, right?
Is he in Law and Order?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Think he's in Law and Order.
I seen him acting.
He was in one of those Western shows. He was on one of those shows.
Oh yeah, that's probably it.
And then he
always see him popping up,
acting. Like he was in movies and all kind of stuff.
See, I swear I know him more of an actor, you know, than his music. Really.
Yeah, he was in that movie Just Right. He was in the movie about the date night. Remember?
Oh yeah,
he was the bad guy. Not one. He was in the movie with the Assassins. Was it Smoking Aces? He was in Smoking Aces. He was.
Oh man, Smoking Aces. That was so good.
He's on that show. He actually produces the show The Chi.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's about a show about Chicago, which is really good. It's on Showtime.
Oh wow, I got to get Showtime. I have HBO. I got to get Showtime.
Dude, what else is on Showtime?
Yellow Jackets is something that I've been told that I need to watch. People have been telling me to watch Yellowstone.
I need to get on that too.
I know everyone. I was like, that's like one of them shows that you're forced to watch almost because you hear about how good it is. Yeah, like that's how I felt with Sopranos and Seinfeld. People have picked it many.
You're the third person. You're the third person a week to tell me about. I tried to watch.
I never cared.
I cannot.
I never cared. I never cared, and it's like it's dumb humor.
That's my.
But did you like The Office?
No, I don't like that. Exactly. I don't like that British style, that dry style of.
I love it. I want the driest, like the most dry, over your head shit. Yeah, that's just like every day.
I like people talk about my buddies about Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm like I can't watch that. I'm like yo. What
that is just like every situation that everyone deals with, but just like amplified times 10.
See, I like shit like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, see, I don't watch that really.
I love that fucking show. Fucking Modern Family.
I don't watch any of that stuff.
The Chi. I mean, not The Chi. Atlanta with Childish Gambino.
Oh, that's great.
That's that's my weird show.
Yeah.
Because Atlanta's weird. It's
very
funny, but
weird.
it's weird. It's way off.
that-
It's like you have to like it. You have to like it if you cannot like
Florida Man and shit.
Yeah, like freaking what else? Insecure. I like that's another one. Like I'm a big HBO fan.
You watch Succession?
I watched an episode last night, and my friend's been telling me watch it, and I watched it, and I was like, I need to start watching.
That's another one that I've heard about. I was just hearing about it so much that I was like, I guess I have to watch this.
It puts you in the minds of billionaires.
Yeah.
Right? So you wouldn't, and it makes you think how billionaires think, and it's really interesting to think.
Yeah, it is.
They can't think like regular people. If you're a billionaire, you don't think like
you
a regular person.
You don't like have them same morals instilled in you.
Your brain doesn't release the same chemical release to anything, right? Because like I'm like us, be like, okay, well, did we pay the bills? If you're a millionaire, those things never ever. Your brain never release those chemical release. So you think differently.
You never feel any of that,
dude. It's like people and rappers say, I don't look at price tags. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Imagine living a life where you've never looked at a price tag.
Oh,
Imagine
wow.
if you were born rich, so you've never looked the price of anything.
Yeah,
your brain operates different.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. It's a good show.
This show looks fun.
We're probably like,
it looks really good.
We're probably like 8 or 9 episodes into the first season, and it's pretty good. But I don't know. It's hard. I feel like sometimes that I'm just done with. I feel like I got burnt out during the pandemic of just watching all kinds of shit.
There's no such thing.
Watching a whole day of just Harry Potter.
Dude, I'll watch a whole episode, a whole freaking
series
season,
in one day.
And one just like Archives 81. I watch it in 2 days.
Yeah, I gotta. We might start that tonight.
Dude, don't do it at night.
Oh yeah, is it scary? Everyone said it was fucked up.
It's not scary, but it will fuck with you.
Yeah,
so I'm like, don't do it at night.
Maybe we'll watch Tenet.
Yellow
Jackets. Probably.
Yellow Jackets meant to jump on
it. Actually, Sunday it's Euphoria tonight. You watch that?
My fiance started watching, and that show's
very
fucked up.
It's very weird. It's like
so
the best comparison. You ever hear Kids, the movie Kids?
Yes.
It's like that mixed with Degrassi.
Yes.
And like I saw someone post that, and I was like, that's literally exactly what this is like.
So, and I love Zendaya. Like that's my daughter's middle name.
Oh yeah,
she's fantastic. My other daughter loves her, and she's so fucked up. That show is so.
She does a good job at playing a snap.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's such a and like having kids. See, you don't have kids.
Yeah,
having kids, that show fucking scares the
right.
Fuck
you're like, my kid is 16 right now,
exactly.
and these kids are 16.
And you're like, this is. I'm like, and I'm like, is this?
Can you imagine growing up in that world? Well, you had a different grow. You didn't go. You were homeschooled, right?
Right.
So it's like
it's different
for us to think about going through high school with a cell phone that had you connected to the world the way it does now. It makes me shudder for my nieces and nephews and shit like that. You're just like, this is going to be fucked up. What's going to be like in 20 years?
I joke about. If I wanted to look at a porn mag when I was younger.
Oh, you had to go into the woods. You had to take them into the woods and shit.
I kept mine in a bag in the fucking woods. That's where I had to get. I wouldn't even dare
any
bring
young
it to my
kid.
house.
Mine was under a tree stump across from my buddy's house.
Exactly.
I swear to God,
and
it was so funny.
And it would be covered in mud and shit. You'd be like, titties.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, titties, yeah. But now accessibility makes it.
It's
you
insane.
can just grab a phone and say big booty MILF.
Yeah.
5
100%.
So it's because things are so accessible, they move faster. Everything moves
faster, exactly.
My 3-year-old daughter taught herself how to play Subway Surfer, that little video game.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds pretty
people
well.
Like run through the subway, kids run through the subway, the cops are chasing them.
Well, I see my friends
how to play it.
I see my friends giving their kids like iPads, and they're doing like practicing like coding at a young age, but it's like camouflaged as like a kid's game, but you're like, I'm teaching my kid how to code, and I'm like, this is fucking insane.
It's not.
If you look at my high school now compared to what it was back then, it was so like, old school, like archaic type shit. Now it looks like Google.
Exactly.
It's wild.
And the thing is, if you can't keep up, you'll get left behind.
100%.
That's why I hate when people are like, oh, well, these jobs are. I'm like, dude, if you can't keep
adapt,
up, you will. And that's what I say about the COVID thing.
Gotta adapt.
You better pull a fucking audible because the world's moving on, and you're not. Like motherfuckers talk about putting consciousness in the robots. You're still wanting to do your basic regular job. Shit's changing. You better change with it,
dude. Man. It's the truth. It really is. That's wild. Okay, so you picked 3 CDs. I think those are the exact 3 that you picked the last time. You definitely picked Bob Marley and Jay-Z. Okay, so I'm curious, what was your walkout music?
My last fight?
Yeah. Does it change?
Yeah, it changes every time.
Really?
Yeah, it changes.
What was it? Like, do you remember what they were?
I think the last one was, I can't think. Fuck. I think was it Drake? My first UFC fight was Drake God's Plan. The second fight,
I like Francis came out to that.
Yeah, because that's just like you're just kind of like, well, I have no.
It's an uplifting song.
Yeah, like you have no control. I'm just gonna let things go. The second song was the second one was Jay-Z. Dope Boys. Like Rockefeller's in the building tonight. That's my thing is always like how I go into camp, how I'm feeling. So like for
the moment, that's what was my next question is like for you to change it. It's like how you're feeling.
It's
in
how
that
I'm
moment.
feeling for that camp, like how I'm adjusting.
It's like the first one, God's plan, because you didn't even expect to be here. Second one, it's like I'm gonna fuck someone up.
I wanted to come out to Win by J Rock because I just come out to that and I was about shit win, and they didn't have it. Someone had already picked J Rock. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, I have nothing. I can't pick anything. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pick. And it just went together. And then when I walked out to it, it was like, oh, yeah, this is perfect. So like songs are all picked up to like how they are.
That's pretty sick. I often try to think of like what mine would be, and it's hard because there's so many wild ass songs.
Because you wouldn't want to do over something that makes you too jacked up, or you wouldn't want something that makes you too chill. You have to find.
Well, it's like I think what the fuck is his name? The dude from Australia, the boot guy. He I think he came out to Britney Spears last time. Hit me, baby, one more time.
He came
and
out.
It's like you got to have a set of nuts on you because if you come out to that and you get slept,
yeah,
you're like,
they're right. Oh, like the one, like my little brother came out to Baby Shark before.
I never. Like, what is Baby Shark?
Like, Baby Shark.
Is that a kid's thing?
Yeah, it's like so he came out the fucking Baby.
Your brother, so. What was his last fight, a win?
No, he lost his last fight.
Okay.
He actually got finished for the first time in his career in his last fight.
And he got another one coming up?
He's looking, he's kind of like just like kind of figuring out like how he wants to do it and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Maybe we got to get him on here.
Oh yeah. He's so Shaka's cool, but he's not he doesn't like to talk to people.
Oh yeah. All right, maybe I'll keep you on here. You'll be the only worthy on here. Okay, so third to last question. If you third to last question is Death Row meal. I need an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert.
I'm about to die?
Yeah, this is before you die, but get put to death, so you can eat anything you want.
Definitely a nice Greek salad.
Yeah. How long have you been a vegetarian?
My whole life.
Whole life? Yeah. You've never had meat in your life?
I've had meat, but like I've never had like a steak.
Yeah.
Never had like a steak or anything. Let's see. Greek salad, like a nice, like really Mediterranean style Greek salad. Mac and cheese and dessert, cheesecake. Strawberry cheesecake. Yeah. I
think the last episode I was listening to it again, you were like, before they called me, I was eating fucking pizza and cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
You did. You said that.
I love cheesecake.
What? I'm curious. What are some of your favorite places to go to eat in the city?
I like Kaya.
Oh yeah, Kaya down in the strip.
Yeah, like I love.
They got a jerk chicken down there that I had that was unreal.
Really?
Yeah.
There's like there's a Ethiopian place that I went to out in East Liberty before. Because I'm a vegetarian, like I don't like try to like find different places, like different cultural styles of food and stuff. And then like I love like Italian food and stuff, obviously. It's good pizza and shit like that.
What's your favorite pizza around?
Spinach.
No, I mean like in the city, place to get pizza. I know.
Listen, so I tell people all the time, I like to get my pizza from BP. BP.
Them hot pizzas there?
Don't join your fucking fire. Like, so
I never had one.
When I went to the PI, they were like, so how many? I was like, well, I'll eat like 2 pizzas a day or $5 a day. Like, you need to stop that. Like, you're putting too much like empty calories in your body. So I haven't really been eating those as much. But
what is PI?
Yeah, Performance Institute for the UFC. Like they're like, where do you eat? And I'm like, oh well.
They ask you all that shit?
Oh yeah, when they check out, because like when they put me on this test, like my body just instantly starts to burn carbs. And they're like, because you're just fucking loaded up with fucking pizza. Like, you got to chill the fuck out with that.
I've been shying away from the BP pizza.
Yeah, they're like, that's what they said. They're like, you might want to chill with
That's fair. I'm going to have to try it now if it's that good.
I like it. But let me see, what pizza place do I? There's a little pizza shop down the street from my house. I'm not like a pizza snob.
Yeah.
I'm not like a pizza snob. I like eat pizza.
Yeah, any pizza is good.
Yeah, like as long as it's good, I'll eat it.
All right, that's fair. Okay, so second to last question. If you're getting ready for a road trip and you can go into a gas station and get one snack, what is it?
Potato chips.
What kind?
Barbecue.
Barbecue potato chips?
Potato chips, yeah.
Now, are you like a kettle cook guy?
Yeah, I'll take them kettle. Yeah, I'll take them kettle, like hard and crunchy ones.
I like a kettle cooked chip.
If some, I might even do like, if I do the kettle, I might even do like a salt and vinegar kettle.
Oh yeah,
it's
like fire. Jalapeno kettle?
Yeah,
can't beat
jalapeno kettle. That Giant Eagle has a really
You know
good
what
brand.
I just bought was, I haven't had in a long time, were the baked barbecue chips that you used to get with like Subway.
Yeah.
Bro, I haven't had them since like high school.
They went out of style for a minute.
Yeah, and I saw them at Giant Eagle on sale. I was like, I haven't had these since like I played football, and I got them, and they still hit pretty
still
good.
Hit the spot.
Still hit. Okay, last question. If you could have a conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be and why?
So last time I remember I picked Darth Vader.
Which was a great answer.
Yes, because like I'm always be obsessed. Let me see.
Do you like the new Star Wars?
No.
Okay, I some people are like, I fucking love it all. Some people are like, I ain't.
They're just it's a money. It's
too much
It's
now.
a money. Yeah, it's
too much.
It's way too far.
Did you like The Mandalorian?
That was good.
I didn't watch it.
I love that. Baby Yoda's my shit.
I know,
my daughter loves Baby Yoda.
Imagine if Baby Yoda wasn't in there. How much less hype it would be.
If Baby Yoda was in that show would be dookie. But Baby Yoda was like, he made the show because he was like, he wasn't human.
He's like Alf.
He didn't talk. He would just go. And people were like, yeah, motherfucking Baby Yoda. Like,
wild what catches on to people.
Like my daughter loves, like, oh my God, my house is covered with, we have like 5 little statues and we have her clothes and like we had a blow up thing that stayed up in the front of the yard for Christmas. It was Baby Yoda with a little Christmas hat. And she would go to sleep. She'd stand up on her chair and say, "Good night, Baby Yoda." And she'd walk up the steps.
What do your kids think about you for being what you are?
Yeah, same.
It's like the 16-year-olds, like, do they like, does you being like someone who beats people's asses, does that instill fear in them, or are they still kind of chippy with you?
Well, I was their coach before I started dating their mom. So yeah, to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, but they're still assholes.
Yeah, it would be different to know because me growing up, I just had the assumption that my dad would be able to whoop my ass because he's 6'3", 280.
So
I
knowing
was like,
that
he's
your
gonna
dad
fuck
whoops
me
ass
up
for a living,
yeah,
you're like,
where you could actually put it on YouTube and see him sleeping people. You're like, I don't know.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
but they were like, but my younger son. He's the rebel one. He's the one. I'm like, I know for sure. I'm gonna have to whoop his ass.
Yeah, once or twice when he gets older.
I'm like, dude, when he turns about 14, he's gonna try me.
There's gonna be a thin line.
I'm like, I punch him in the stomach just once. You hit him in the stomach, one solid punch, and they'll just know.
There's gonna be that thin line. 1 year between 1 year, he's gonna be able to from being you whooping his ass to him maybe whooping your ass.
And I'm gonna have to I always tell like all the younger kids that come to the gym, like 16, 17. I always tell them, like, yo, as soon as you get to the point, as soon as you think you can do it, I'm going to hurt you. Not permanently, but I have to
just so you
hurt
know.
you. So then it's like the elephant. Like, you traumatize you. If I can traumatize you enough when you're younger, it'll keep you over to like 8 years.
Did you have like a... did you being a UFC fighter, did that help the gym at all? Did you have people come through?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, most of the people that come through, that's the reason they come through. Like, oh, shit. And then they're like, oh, shit, like, you're like, yes.
That's dope.
It's definitely helps out big time.
That's dope. Okay, you said you were thinking of Darth Vader before.
Yeah, so I've said him before. Let me see. If I had to talk to someone different, this out of fiction or anything.
Anything, alive or dead.
I would say I would talk to my character, Harry Potter, because I'm a big Harry Potter fan.
I love it.
So Harry Potter would be here. I joke around. I say Harry Potter's the only white dude that can call me the N-word. I'm like, Harry Potter walked up and said, "Man," I'm like, yeah, Harry, you cool, man. You can say that, Harry.
Harry Potter.
He gets a pass.
All right, that's Harry Potter's a dope dude.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Harry Potter. My wife is not a huge fan. She never watched any of the movies. She's only watched like parts of it. It like makes me upset whenever she doesn't.
It's so good though. It explains. Like the first ones were kind of childish, but then once they start the story starts to go, and I loved it. I like
it's fantastic.
I think we're trying to new ones. The new ones are great.
Do they? So I didn't watch any of those.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find. I took my daughter's like a huge.
Aren't they making another one?
Yes,
with all the original people.
I don't know what that's supposed to be or how they're supposed to do that. Or what but like the prequels, the fantastic, because the Dumbledore, like. Dumbledore's a good dude, but there was always a lot of mystery around how Dumbledore became.
So them Fantastic Beasts are
They're
all about him.
Explaining Dumbledore and
is
how
Johnny Depp Dumbledore?
No, Johnny Depp is the bad guy.
Okay.
He's the bad guy. Dumbledore is my man from is it Jude Law? Yeah, it's Jude Law, right?
I don't know.
Jude Law. What's the guy from is it Jude Law? Yeah, it's Jude Law. Yeah, Jude Law. He's played by Jude Law. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So but Johnny Depp's no longer in it. That's why the movie actually got held off, because all that stuff that happened with his wife and all that crazy stuff.
He ended up winning that.
Yeah.
She ended up being a crazy bitch.
I know. So then he got kicked out of the movie and shit. So I don't know what's going on with that. My sister was talking about, my daughter was talking about that. But yeah, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them are good. It gives you the concept of like, that's the one thing that I did like about the new Star Wars, as like, it was like, okay, what's good, what's bad?
Yeah.
Like, what's really good and what's really bad?
Yeah.
If you look back, and are the Jedi just extremist religious group?
Yeah.
right. Because to a degree,
yeah,
they are.
That fits under that for sure.
You can like find a lot of holes, but there's just extremist religious groups, and anything that goes against them. And like, I mean, that was the whole thing with Anakin, was like the council and stuff. And like, they go, what the heck? Like, why do you have to do this? And why is this bad? Why? And like, that's what kind of gets in with the new Fantastic Beasts. It's like, okay, so are they good or are they bad, or they're still regular people, right? They still regular.
I'm gonna have to watch them. There's two of them.
There's two of them. Yeah, there's two of them. They're really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch them. Harry Potter. That's a good answer. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. All right, dude. Well, I appreciate it. I mean, like, I'm excited. I'm going to try to come out to the fight. Yeah, I had I think we're going away that weekend, but I'm going to try to make it there. If it's next weekend, I just remembered this now, but the 5th, okay, people could get them on 24/7.
Yes.
Now, promote the Academy, everything.
Yeah, so want to train, want to do some MMA, come down, 24 Woodville Avenue, come down, get some training on, meet me, hang out, You don't have to really fight train. I tell people all the time, like 90% of people that come into the gym just want to meet people who are trying to better themselves, learn a martial arts, improve their self-worth and stuff like that. And then it's the other 10% that think they want to fight. Then it's like the 1% that actually does fight.
Yeah.
Time happens.
Yeah, the whole dynamic of like a martial arts gym is something that civilians might be hesitant to delve into, but it's like anyone that I've ever talked to has always been so nice. Like Jake McClough from like True Believer. It's like, you familiar with him?
Yeah.
It's like I talk to him, and it's like those people could just kill you, but they're always the nicest. It's like everyone's very nice. So if people
it's not as scary as you think it is.
Yeah, not as scary as you think.
Pretty girl in high school.
Yeah,
that's seriously.
Muster up a little bit of the courage.
Yeah,
could go your way.
Once you go there, you're like, oh shit. What's the worst you can say is no.
You ever have anyone try you yet? Like come into the gym and like be like, I want to definitely fight you. Yeah. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's the best.
That's
I love those videos. Those are my favorite videos online. All right, everyone else that's listening, I appreciate it as usual. Another episode next week with another great person. Check out the Academy. Down where what's it considered down there? West End.
It's like West End. It's right. It's like borderline. It's like right off of Green Tree Road, like right before you go into West End, like in between there.
Yeah. All right, everyone else listening, I appreciate it as usual. Call you right back.